everyone, and welcome to another Tinfoil Tuesday. Or Wednesday today, actually. Sorry, how's everyone doing? Hope your week's going well. We are back for more conspiracy nonsense, and we are playing Tinfoil Bingo, so make sure you get your bingo cards ready, if that's something you want to do. We have all sorts of stuff to take a look at today. We have more plasma energy healing. We have, aliens. We have a giant scorpion. We got a lot going on, so it should be good. Hope everyone's having a good week so far. Let me see what I missed in chat. Icky Neko, thanks for 23 months at Tier 1, says almost 2 years. Nice. I love those anniversaries. Medicated Person, thanks for a 35 stream streak. Appreciate ya. Everyone on YouTube, if you could do me a favor and like the stream, it would help out. Helps new people find the channel, which is always good. Sorry, just making sure my microphone is on the correct setting. So yeah, the Spock outfit won, so that's good. Any good news? The air conditioner is fixed. The central air is finally fixed, so that's good. It's still in the middle of cooling down, but that's good. That's real good. Thank you, random repair guy who came today. Appreciate ya. So let's see, housekeeping stuff out of the way. If you like the show, consider, if you're on Twitch, subscribing or gifting subs. It always helps. We're close to the end of the month, so getting closer to the sub goal would be cool. If you're on YouTube, I already said like the stream, so that's cool. Like it if you haven't. I said it twice, so that means it's nice. And that's it. Cool. I think we can get into it. We'll start right away. This is the guy I'm doing the medbed video on. It's gonna touch on other medbed scammers, but he's sort of the main guy. So I've been watching a lot of his videos, and I know you've seen some of them with me, but here's another one. Very fun. Fenigami says, Zorin Mamdani won. Oh yeah, that was good news. That's the first good news in a while, politically. Hell yeah. That's absolute cinema right there. Starting on a zoomed in close-up and then backing up to reveal the scene. Wow, it's like Scorsese was a scammer. Oh, Carpcosian, thanks for your 3 stream streaks. As I sniffed a cat. She's a pretty girl. I sniffed a cat. He is a gross boy, but I love him anyway. Solid use of a message.
So we're looking at the plasma fire, the plasma spheres.
I've shown you guys this before. This is the control thing. This is the app used to control the bullshit plasma ball healing things.
We're looking at the app. We just did a real quick video just showing them working. But you can see here the frequency codes are going to start with the toes, sore foot, soles of the feet. I'm just going to kind of run through here so you can see some of the...
The claim here is that when you have 2, like, plasma balls, a field happens between them that, like, has healing energy, and different frequencies of that, like, plasma energy field will heal different things. So the idea here is you would like, I guess there's different ones for different parts of the foot. So, like, there's foot... Oh, no, these all say foot in step. Okay, well, apparently there's just lots of different frequencies for your fucking feet. It's like Quentin Tarantino created the machine.
Frequency codes and instep, lower leg, you know, basically targeting different parts of the body. So if you have discomfort, inflammation, or there's issues going on, or you're recovering from some type of an injury, these would obviously be a list of different codes that you can...
Yeah, like, why is there multiple thighs? Thigh is 54 and 55, but one's 101.06 hertz, and the other is 104.65 hertz. The Devil You Know, thanks for 40 months, says, happy to have been here for 40 months. Will be lurking mostly as I've bathed my torso in boiling water and I'm recovering from that. Kind of wishing those medbeds were real right now. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you got burned.
Run. Thighs, much better. Okay, so then we get prostate, colon, uterus, stomach,
What happens if I use the frequency that's meant for a uterus? Will it grow me a uterus? That'd be pretty based.
spleen, liver, chest, breasts,
Thanks for the recommendation, CE Glass.
diaphragm, heart, lungs, thymus gland. So these are larynx. These are some of the frequency codes here. Chin, teeth, mouth, tongue, excellent. Jaw, and then nose. And you can see here we're moving up the body, obviously. Temples, forehead.
I'm gonna move past when he's just looking at the goddamn list.
Helping to align and help grow the chakra energy. And so...
Poor understanding of Eastern religion on the bingo card. Also shilling scamming. This is scamming.
Now, technically,
fairness,
you could do this...
I'm not sure about Sean. Sean is the guy that runs this channel. He might be a true believer. I'm really on the fence about it. I still can't figure out if he's a true believer or not, but I'm leaning towards true believer, and then the Baxter guy that sells him all this equipment, I think, is the big scammer.
On an iPad, this is...
But I don't know, the jury's still out on Sean.
Set up with either an iPhone or...
Yes, believe sci-fi tech actually exists on the bingo card.
Or an iPad. When you're buying the plasma fire, the plasma spheres, you would obviously buy this separately. So we're looking at the plasma spheres, the plasma fire. And
also, I'm still in the middle of the writing portion of the video. I took all my notes. I'm in the middle of the writing portion. Next is the filming portion once I'm done writing. I wanted to get a couple of new plasma balls for the filming so I can have them on either side of me. If you want to help me get those, they're like $40 each. Consider doing a tip. You don't have to. It's not like a necessity. I just think it'd be a nice touch for the video.
I did a couple videos earlier. We talked about it, and this is more of a practical setting on how it would be set up in a bedroom, or you could use a massage table. It could be on either side of that if it's more.
And who knows? Maybe he's right. Maybe they'll heal me, and my brain will finally work.
Of a spa, but basically, you're going to be in the middle. You want one on the left, one on the right.
What does the Baxter Products guy sell? All sorts of scam products. Anything that you could imagine that's like alt health. He sells like the scammy fake med bed thing that this guy has. A lot of the products that this guy uses and offers people to use, offers to sell people time to use at his facility come from the Backstar guy. So I think these plasma balls are from the Backstar guy.
And then you're going to have the frequency codes that are going to be on the app, which you can get on an iPhone or an iPad, which I will pull up here right now.
Not Spencer's Gifts. In fairness, the ball itself probably comes from Spencer's Gifts, but he clearly builds like a box around it. He does something. He did something to them. I'm not sure what. It literally might just be the Spencer's ones in a box, which would be very funny. But I'm assuming he did something to tinker with it. Nothing that actually does anything, but he wanted to at least make it look legitimate.
Go through that one more time. About 100 different frequency codes that you can run. But you can see here. So now what's happening is that
I think the guy's name is Baxter, but I'm pretty sure his scam company name is Backstar Industries. Because the logo looks like the Stark Industries logo, and then also Star Industries is a like science company in the DC universe. So I think he's trying to do kind of like a play on both of those. But Orion with a $5 super chat says, "For the balls." Thank you.
These two units are basically...
You hate that the logo is the Stark logo. Yeah, I'm imagining Disney's probably not thrilled about it either. If you don't know what I'm talking about, let me pull it up real quick. this guy is the guy that makes a lot of these scam products, or I should say, I think he imports a lot. I think some of these he gets off of. I was able to find some of these on Alibaba. Surprise! This is a spoiler for the video I'm producing, but I was able to find where they got a lot of these scam products, and it's like drop shipped Alibaba products that he throws his logo on. But there's the logo, clearly a rip-off of the Stark Industries logo. It's not great. It's not awesome. Is all I'm saying, you know. But yeah, the Celestial Chamber. This is the thing that he sells as his med bed type thing. He sells it for, how much does he sell these for? I know Sean sells them for $16,000, so I'm not sure how much this guy sells. I think you have to, like, ask. But I was able to find these on Alibaba for, like, $1,200, which isn't nothing, but they're charging way more than they got them for.
Basically creating a plasma field in the middle. You would be in the middle, and then you could set a frequency that would basically resonate with a different part of the body.
Green guy with a $3 tip says, put the balls on your wish list. And Nemesaur with $50 says, if you want to decorate your house with plasma balls, you can just say so. I really don't, believe it or not. Thank you very much for the tips. I appreciate it. Put the balls on my wish list. Do you still have access to that wish list from with the shelves? I'm not sure. Let me add them, though.
Or you could do things that are related to the chakras. And they're very simple. Now, what's really nice about these, and I'll go ahead and say it again, is that they're not plugging into the electrical outlet. They're going to avoid electrical smog. And they're basically using these little...
I'm sorry, did you just say electrical smog? That's word salad for sure. Electrical smog. That's pretty good. Okay. One sec, I want to make sure I get the right ones on my list.
Is that they're not plugging into the electrical outlet. They're going to avoid electrical smog. And
yes, we are doing bingo today.
And they're basically using these little charging stations, which are good for about 3 hours. Now, when you're running these frequency codes and you start doing this, you're going to basically do it ballpark for about 15 minutes a day. Like with any of the technology that we work with, starting slow is always ideal.
I'll add the plasma balls later. It's going to take me a while to go through. I already added them on a different list, and I'm, you know. Bumble Homestead, thanks for 25 stream streaks, says I'm glamping near Kiddo's summer camp. Thanks for the entertainment. Of course.
So slow and steady wins the race, and it depends obviously on what you're going to do. But as you get more comfortable with the plasma spheres, plasma fire, and your body starts adapting to it, then of course you can start using it for longer periods of time. Okay, just a real quick add-on right here. This is just one extra piece that
This is so stupid. This is the grounding stuff again. Hi, Lupine. I'm streaming, baby. Hi. I know. It was so hot, and now it's cool. Cat makes a guest appearance on the bingo card.
Putting in with the plasma fire, the plasma energy spheres, is the earthing grounding technology. So there's a 3-pack of these. They're called BioShield stations, right? I call them basically the earthing grounding towels, if you will. And I've got this one.
Nothing more technical than a towel that plugs into the wall.
Plugged in. I didn't use it last night, but this is definitely gonna...
So if you don't know what this stupid thing is, they sell products that plug into the wall, but not the actual electrical prong parts, just the grounding socket. And the idea is that it grounds your body. This doesn't do anything. This is nonsense. But a lot of these woo-woo people have started being convinced that literally touching, like, the ground will ground you, and that's healthy for you. Like, they think that electrical conductivity and being grounded somehow will lead to a healthier state of well-being than if you're wearing shoes. So it's like hippy-dippy bullshit.
Assist with getting some better results, or just enhancing the results from the plasma fire. doesn't plug into electric, it's just plugging into the ground, right? So it's grounding you.
Also, I know it's just plugging into the ground, but this scares the shit out of me. Like, I'm just gonna put this out there. The fact that it's a blanket that fucking plugs into the wall, and I'm not talking about like a normal electric blanket. Like, I don't know. Freaks me out, man.
While you're using the plasma fire, if you can see down here, this is all a mixture of silver and cotton. So it's using silver as a conductive material. And then I also put one up on the pillow. So I've got one up there, so your head's making contact. And
it's often rooted in we have to reconnect to the earth, crunchy granola hippie stuff. They really like to take metaphor literally. We have to connect with the earth must literally mean we need to make contact with the earth. Very weird. Very weird how people get their symbolic and literal wires crossed. And it's like a constant thing.
Put it down by your feet. Ideal situation is to have some part of the skin actually touching the fabric. So the plasma fire, plasma spheres with the earthing grounding technology, we bundle that in. You can also get a full sheet if you wanted something for an entire bed or a massage table.
If you bought it, you'd be full of sheet.
Wherever you're using it, I'm using the individual sections right here, right now, just because it's easier for me. But these...
I have the craving to watch Multiplicity. Who wants to watch Multiplicity with me?
These come in 3-packs, and you can actually get them individually.
That's not a joke. It has nothing to do with what's going on right now. It was an ADHD thought. I apologize.
As well, but if you're going to do the plasma fire, the plasma energy spheres, then this would be a good add-on, which is not very expensive. So that'll be in the description area as well. That'll be bundled in, but just...
Let's see how much it is. He says it's not very expensive. Can I see? Can I see? This is the plasma energy spheres. Where's your stupid fucking blanket? Where's your grounding thing? Grounding. Earth grounding towels. This is what he's talking about. How much is he charging for these? Oh, a chair size unit is $150 each. Very affordable. A floor size unit is $1,100. $1,150 fucking dollars. Definitely worth it. This isn't a scam at all. Oh, damn. I accidentally took this out of the thing. How far into this are we? 610.
But just a real quick
NSE 333, thanks for 100 bits.
Review to add that in as part of the package. They're very, very popular. They're basically, a lot of them are being sold overseas, but here in the States, we're really excited to get our hands on these. And they are here. They have been here for a bit, so they're not brand new, but...
So does everyone who works at a Spencer's Gifts live to like 150 years old like Star Trek? Because they're just surrounded by plasma ball energy all the time since like the 90s. Do they have superpowers?
Once again,
maybe they just got magnetic and they're not actually pierced. It's just all that stuff stuck to them.
Super cool technology. These are the plasma spheres. So contact me for more information. Basically, this would be what I would refer to as medbed type technology. And when you say medbed technology, basically medbed technology would be the kind of technology that's basically using plasma. Now these also do help change the energy in the room. So even if I wasn't going to lay down in here right now, electrifying this, or...
I can change the energy in the room too. I'm ready to hang out and make everyone uncomfortable.
Getting this whole plasma field basically moving and operating here in this room. So in addition to whatever they do on the body, also very good for your environment. Very good for setting a real good environment for sleeping, for meditation, all different types of things. A lot of metaphysical properties with these. So once again, if you're more information on the plasma fire, plasma spheres, plasma energy spheres, give me a call and or visit the website. And we'll be more than happy to give you more information on these.
Oh, that's good B-roll. Use that in the video. For anyone anyone wondering, I've been enjoying working on the video. I was very intimidated at first because it's been quite a while since I worked on an edited video. But I'm enjoying it now. I'm remembering why I liked it in the first place, so that's good. Let's take a look at the bingo card really quick. We, of course, have believed sci-fi tech actually exists, poor understanding of Eastern philosophy or reality. We have word salad. We have vibes-based conspiracy. What else? What else? What else? Is there anything else? Am I crazy? We didn't have satanic or anything. We didn't have 5G. Okay, maybe that's it. Oh, shilling. Duh, that's the most obvious one. Shilling scamming on the bingo card. You already have 3 in a row? Hell yeah. Rick M, thanks for a 25 stream streak, says, thank you for sifting through all the tinfoil nonsense. I enjoy it. Believe it or not. I act annoyed on stream, because I'm kind of playing a character, you know? I'm entertaining people, and that's part of it. But I wouldn't do this if I didn't enjoy it quite a bit. Can get a little annoying sometimes, and you get a little depressed and morose, and, you know, there's kind of a malaise, but you work through it. Oh, hey, let's see how Roger's doing.
Hey, hold on tight. This is going to be about Scorpius, a giant scorpion sent by Gaia to kill Orion.
So he's doing good. Okay, good. Giants on the bingo card.
There any evidence of this scorpion now? Okay, my friends, let's get into the evidence. If there's evidence, there's evidence. If there isn't, there isn't. We're going to be looking at this in a second. This is the Aleutian chain. This is Alaska, right?
Yeah, the uses AI on the bingo card's gonna be a free space soon. To be completely honest with you, I'm getting real fed up with how mainstream AI shit has gotten, and it's already proliferated. Conspiracy communities. Chitara says, is this the return of Scorpzilla? I believe so. Actually, maybe not. No, it's gotta be.
Here. Mount Spur is right here, and I know what Mount Spur is. It's a volcano, but there's more than that to it. I was right over...
Is it the scorpion's butthole?
Over here, that was my badge. I was in the 524th Ordnance Company, which I serviced Nike Hercules missiles up in Alaska long ago. And I understand exactly what's going on here, and I'm going to explain to you. And this is possibly Scorpius. I call him Scorpzilla because he runs all the way down to California. All right, let's just...
Roger, have you considered its mountains? I'm just saying, there's a geological explanation for this that doesn't involve kaiju. And hey, I'm a kaiju fan myself. I own the entire Godzilla series except for the anime. Just saying. Oh fuck, Hannah mentions Blu-rays. That's on me, man.
Start off with the evidence.
Why is the map flipped? Because he thinks it looks better for his case. That is something to be positive about, Amber. It's nice to have something to be positive about, isn't it?
I say that is a scorpion stinger, pincher, injector, whatever you want to call it. And it's the end of the tail of Scorpzilla. Now let's look at the details. This is the injector. That is what squirts out the...
Technically, I'm pretty sure the bigger the animal, the weaker the venom tends to be. That's why the most venomous animals on Earth tend to be very tiny. So maybe this thing's fine. Maybe you could get stung by this and it would just give you a rash. You never know.
Stuff, which it did squirt out right here. And it turned into this blob here because it had nowhere to go. It sort of bounced off there and came down here. Now, why? How would you use that? You can't jab anybody. It's sticking like this. It's got to be way back here. Well, how would it go way back here? It would settle into this wrinkle zone. You see that? Take your time And let's look at this thing carefully, because I think this is what was written about Scorpzilla now.
Venom is metabolically expensive. That's why I don't bother with venom. I'm just poisonous instead. Do it. Try to eat me. It won't go well. You'll vomit and get diarrhea. It won't be worth it. Fennikagami says he got the myth wrong. The primary myth I heard is that Artemis is the one who sent Scorpio to kill Orion because Orion kept trying to assault the Pleiades, who were her friends. There might be different versions. Also, he used the AI summary, and AI summaries have a tendency to be wrong. So, I don't know.
Came here to kill Orion, and apparently he did. And this is the pin right here. That this injector...
Yeah, he's done this before, Generity. He has a few geological features on the Earth that he's obsessed with. There's the one in northern Africa that he thinks is the dragon. There's this one that he thinks is the scorpion. There's maybe one or two others. But he just keeps going back to him for, like, decades. Because this is all he has, is this insane, like, thing he thinks he's doing. It's wild. Orion Cooper with the $2 super chat says there are many versions of how I died. There you go.
Rocks on them.
Good name humor.
These are muscles. Right now they're flopped together. If they opened up, this thing would come right back into this cradle. And you'd have a scorpion pincher sticking down somewhere in this area. And if something got in the middle of it, the muscles pull in. And it has nowhere to go but to contract right into the victim.
Green Guy with a tip says 80% of ad pics of all pics on the internet are now AI. I was looking to buy a window AC to keep just the bedroom cooler without cooling the whole house. The picture of the AC in a room were AI. Cannot even pay a person to just Photoshop it in a room. Oh yeah, the proliferation of it is incredibly depressing and I hate it. And, like, so many people are apathetic about it or think you're fucking weird if you have an issue with it. Drives me up a goddamn wall. They all want to fucking engage with the sycophancy propaganda machine. Makes me feel like a goddamn boomer. Like, this is my thing, apparently. Apparently you hit 30, and then a piece of technology comes out that you see as a fucking problem and no one else does. Or maybe I'm just crazy. I don't know. Who knows? One or the other.
Now, why am I talking about this so seriously today? Because there has been some evidence presented about some things that are under here. I haven't looked at it yet. I just got sent this by a friend, my friend Steve, and he said, take a look at this. And when I did, the first thing I noticed was where it was. It's right up here, right in the scorpion tail. Now, think about this carefully. Say, oh, the guy's crazy, he's crazy. No, I am not crazy. This is...
There you go. He said he's not crazy, and no crazy person has ever said they're not crazy before, so case closed.
The injector fluid tube right here, right there, going all the way down, right into the guy. That's the muscle that pulls it in to inject it. If it was laying out flat here, it would just be basically laying out kind of flat like this. Just all that stuff would bend back here, and it would snuggle right into that cradle. You see all that? There's no reason for that to be there. The only reason is because this folded up into it. There's none of that stuff.
Dolly of the Ani with 29 months says, my boss uses almost exclusively, like, Pixabay images for our website and stuff, and she doesn't like AI art but can't tell it from regular weird royalty-free art, so I'm constantly having to tell her. It's so frustrating. Also, 29 months, awesome. Yeah, I don't understand, like, I get that I'm sure there's stuff I see that I don't realize is AI, but sometimes I'll see people thinking an image is real and it's like clearly AI. This is very strange. I don't understand people's lack of aesthetic consideration. Like, it just feels obvious sometimes, but they don't see it. I feel like I'm going crazy.
Here, it's only there. All right, you with me? So stay with me on this. So is this the same height as here? No, not at all. Here we're at elevation minus 600 meters. Here we're at elevation minus 5,600 meters. That's 5,000 meters deep from here. The tail is 5,000 meters deep. And same thing here, right here.
Then Gagami says, and then in a few years, everyone will complain that all modern art is ugly and wonder what happened, and it'll be the damn AI incest. Lisa Lamb, thanks for 5 months. Almost on a hype train.
Here we're at, it's not quite as deep, but we're minus 700 meters, and here we're minus 3,700 meters. So that's 3,000 meters over here. It's 5. Don't lose track of it.
All right, we can move on from Roger. I enjoy checking in every once in a while, but we've seen this Scorpzilla. Oh, this is terrible. The Super Soldier program people made another terrible AI music video, self-aggrandizing. I'm gonna call this one, Spot the Copyright Infringement. At least one of them's real obvious. You'll know. Oh.
We hear on the surface world.
Well, you're not allowed to use that.
Really don't have a clue.
That's not even a super soldier. That's an NCR Ranger. They live in the post-apocalypse. What are you talking about, man? That's from fucking Fallout.
What they always endure.
Oh, it's okay. They made him a cyborg
They don't have a clue.
beneath the actual image that it came from. It's okay because the AI made him a fucking robot.
What they always endure. They fight for me and you. Genetically modified for 20 and back. They are continually taken for non-linear task. They are the super soldiers. Super family.
It's about family.
Bound by their hearts. Where are they tonight? Gotta make things right. They bring us the light, visible light. Cybernetics, the power in their hands. Psionics, don't try to understand. They are a force of love, they bring a force of light. Super soldiers are real.
The song is a bit on the nose. AI music tends to be, because, like, AI doesn't grasp anything, because it's not thinking, but, like, for lack of a better term, it doesn't grasp metaphor, so everything's very literal. Songs and poems tend to be, well, poetic. They tend to involve metaphor and simile and a lot of, like, comparisons and sort of like winks and nods and subtle references and like connections that you would get. But AI can't do that because it doesn't have an intent. So it's always very on the nose. It's like noun verbing. Like it's very straightforward because it basically has to be. I don't know how to describe it. It's a little weird.
Augmentations off the scale, they will always heal.
Like, it's always, this happens, and this happens, and this happens. It makes statements. It doesn't, you know what I mean? Green Guy says, I had a referral to a psychologist, but they were booked up, so instead of switching me, my Navy insurance told me I had to call around and find one, so I've finally done that. It took 4 hours. Yay, going to get meds in July. Got the referral in January. That's a pain in the ass. I'm sorry they made you do that, but I'm glad it's out of the way.
On a power 20 and back, they will persevere in the service to others, service to humanity.
What's this lady? What's wrong with this lady's head? Why does she look like a... She looks like a Super Marionation character amongst a bunch of live-action characters. Am I crazy? Next week on Joe Danger, this fucking lady.
Service for love. Always win, always win. Everywhere they've been, always win. Altered genetics, technique magically advanced. Their training is endless, courage second to none. Where are they tonight? Out to make things right.
I don't think the physics on that checks.
Visible light. They will face the dark force. Never leave a chance. No one knows where they've been, but they always win. Always win. Their grasp brings light to the universe. Their reach is everywhere. Superhuman life force.
He was moving the gun like it was shooting, but nothing came out of the gun.
Never time to spare. Super soldier. They're out there tonight. Where are you tonight? Fighting for balance. Fighting for peace. They know what the stakes are. Dark forces never cease.
That's just Pandora. Jesus. They're really bad. Oh, no. Okay, James Rink, the super soldier guy, also made this 30-second video of himself. It's bad. It's using AI.
Commander Cruz, our mission is a success. Well done, human. Maja kabla, bat et kabla.
Like, he clearly took a photo in this chair at a convention, and then he used AI to, like, try to make the photo into a live-action scene? And it looks fucking terrible.
Commander Cruz, our mission is a success. Well done, human. Maja kabla, bat et kabla.
Jesus Christ, man. That's so bad. Okay, what else we got? Oh, this lady sucks. Let's see what she's got going on.
I am about to take you on a wild galactic ride of galactic history, and we are going to talk about the expanded codex of persecution implants. Okay, and what these are, what the main one is right now that is being triggered from the planetary universal tree of life, from the race morphogenetic field, from the holographic attainment of oneness, and
I don't like the phrase race morphogenetic field. That has some vibes.
we are gonna shine a spotlight on the yellow badges, which are a vibrational scar.
I'm gonna go with overt anti-Semitism on that one. I'm gonna go overt anti-Semitism on the, quote, yellow badges.
That is so significant for so much of the collective that it is screaming to be removed through J-seal removal clearing. And because of
J-seal
that-
removal. of the yellow badge energy. Yeah. Okay, overt for sure. Fenigami says the AI music varies in quality. If it was written by a person but sung with AI, you might not notice. I disagree. There's always there's something very digital about AI music. Like, the voice always sounds too in tune, like it's like super auto-tuned or something. It's very weird and overly produced, in my experience. If it's composed by AI, though, you can tell after a few listens, and I can tell immediately for the most part in my experience, but that's survivorship bias, I understand. My ass is shit at music, but I found this song I liked, but it kept feeling weird when I tried to sing it. It ran on too long, the chorus didn't connect right, and like you said, the metaphor didn't work. It fooled me at first, but no, AI does not have the potential its prophets claim. Yeah.
Because of all of this coming up, all of these implants being shown, I'm gonna dive deeper into why the Jewish lineages are
okay. Yep, definitely overt.
Straight from the Lyran, Elohai, Elohim bloodlines. Okay, and they're holding keys to the Earth's awakening and the planetary ascension process at this time. That is not to be overlooked. This is the stuff that most people won't touch on with a 10-foot pole at this time. Okay?
Yeah, maybe a lot of people don't want to, like, be anti-Semitic. That'd be great, lady.
But I am here to say it, okay? And say it loud and say it clear and with facts that will make your mind explode. Okay? And to anyone who has a problem with my breast and being able to see my breast or this, and that.
Ma'am, I don't give a shit about your tits.
Okay? I live in Florida.
She's wearing she's just wearing a top where you can see cleavage. You guys can't see it, it's a little cut off, but it's like cleavage. No one would care if she didn't say anything. Like, lots of people wear low-cut shirts, it's fine.
I have a pool in my backyard. I go down to the beach all the time.
You're the one bringing attention to it, lady.
And I'm a woman of a certain age, and I don't have to explain myself. Okay?
No one asked you. This is insane. No one asked you to. What? I'm not concerned about your boobs. I'm concerned about the weird anti-Semitic shit you're saying.
I can dress however I want to dress, and if someone has a problem with
it, yep, okay.
Then that's not my problem. Now, let's start with this yellow badge, okay? Because this is very significant. This isn't just some historical artifact from medieval Europe, from World War II, from Nazi Germany, okay? It's an actual living etheric implant. It's a
etheric
frequency scar that is woven into many people's holographic field, their light body. A lot of times the symbols are displayed around the chest, typically above the heart or somewhere on the shoulder. It was originally enforced in 1215 CE to mark Jews for persecution, and it's now something that has evolved.
Okay, I'm gonna move on. I don't think I have the bandwidth for that today, so we'll go overt on the bingo card, and we'll move on.
Okay, y'all. Right now, Earth, we are in Earth's fourth cycle of existence right now. Excuse me. We are in Earth's fourth cycle. And I got a video on this called Earth's 7 Cycles of Existence. And, 7 is the number of organization. The cosmic law of 7 is the cosmic law of organization. Right now, we're in the 4th cycle of Earth, and that's within this 3rd dimension. Earth existed first in the mental plane, aka the 5th dimension. Then we're also within a lower level of the 5th dimension.
Dimensions beyond our own on the bingo card?
And is the astral plane. All right, and that was the 2nd level of Earth's existence. The first was the mental, the 2nd was the astral. And the 3rd, it came down again to the etheric plane, aka the 4th dimension, the dimension of time right there. So that was the 3rd level of Earth's evolution. The 4th level is where we're at right now, of Earth's revolution within the the physical plane, the third dimension. This is the fourth level. And it's going to go to the fifth level next. And it's going to rise up from the physical to the fourth dimension. And we're transitioning now. The crossover is happening now, very gradually, very slowly. See, the third dimension is going to the fourth, back to the etheric plane. Okay, so that's going. And this is the fourth level of its existence. When we cross over completely to the fourth dimension, the etheric plane, that's going to be the fifth level of Earth's existence. Then it's going to go back to the astral and then back up where it started.
People are very obsessed with being anywhere but on Earth. You ever notice that? People really just want a button to get pressed and for the world to be completely different. It's a lot. It's a lot. Fenekagami with 40 bits says, I'm so sick of people not realizing why we shamed some shit into not being up for discussion. It happened because, frankly, we realized years ago nothing good comes from talking like that. The N-word became the N-word because people realized that not listening when people told you to stop meant you were racist, and if you were racist, you weren't worth talking to. We're currently learning that with MAGA.
First shall be last, to the fifth dimension, the aka the mental plane right there. So, like right now, we're in the fourth level of its existence, right? So the fifth level, that will officially be what people term as, what people call as the new Earth. That's going to be the new Earth, because when it gets to that point, and it's transitioning now, we're in the beginning process of it within this age of Aquarius. But when it gets there officially, in its fifth cycle, which will be the fourth dimension, the etheric plane, that's going to be new Earth, because it won't be any evil, any wickedness here. Those archonic energies, like attached to...
I always find it interesting when people use evil this way. Like, if you talk to this guy and you asked him, what about situations where some people think an action is evil and other people don't? Like, metaphysically, what is considered evil? And they talk about it as though it's objective, and everyone agrees. And I find that really interesting to, like, as an insight into their worldview. Very black and white.
People going to be gone, so there won't be any more incarnations, like, on Earth at that point, if you didn't get it right. We're like the last generation that's here on karma with corrupted souls. Like the children being born now, they don't have...
Weird mix between dharmic religions and the rapture?
Have like corrupted souls like that. They're not here on karma, all fucked up like most people here is now. And this is why, according to the cosmic law of return,
I've noticed theosophy is really popular right now. What the fuck's up with that?
which grants a person 108 incarnations. This is why, and it's said within that law of return that most essences or souls is here on the 108th incarnation right now. Right now. Right now. That's why, I'm coming forth with all this information that I'm learning and that I've learned about over the years, because if you're in your 108th incarnation, it's time to take this seriously, because you're going to go to the infernal regions to get purged, if you get it wrong. You know what I'm saying? If you don't graduate Earth, if you don't choose the soul over that ego, you know what I'm saying? The egos grow too strong within a person. They become powerful too. They have powers and shit like that. But the soul is in a person's backdrop, unable to really manifest itself, because the person is going by their egos, that archonic energy. They're falsely identifying with that right there. But right now, we're in the fourth cycle, third dimensional Earth right now. It's going to go to the 4D, later on. But it won't be any archonic wicked energy here. All the reptilians, all these extraterrestrials, that's bad.
Reptilians on the bingo card.
Negative, they're going to be, removed from the Earth, because that's going to be evolution for Earth right there. It's going to remove all the bad negative stuff. It's going to be all good. It's going to be heaven on earth, basically. You see? So, like, all that talk about, like, new Earth, being now, no, we're in the purging.
I don't know who needs to hear this. Fundamentally, the concept of utopia is problematic because people have different concerns, people have different likes, they have different dislikes, they have different ideas of what is moral and what is ethical. So if you created what is a utopia for one person, for another person, it might feel like a dystopia. Do you understand? To someone who's a fan of Ayn Rand, a leftist utopia is a nightmare. To someone who is a leftist, an Ayn Randian objectivist utopia is a nightmare. Do you see how it doesn't, like, it's not always as extreme as that, but there's so many differing opinions on things, on how things should be governed, on how interactions between people should be mediated within society, that you cannot find a catch-all solution that everyone's gonna agree on.
Now we're purging now. Earth is purging itself of all those negative energies, and that's going to be around 2100 something. That's not going to be in our lifetime, y'all. Our kids going to see it, and our grandkids will see it. You know, they're going to bring that heaven on earth here. That's why they can't be born here,
Will
like,
Kale.
you know, with corrupted souls, like far as being here on karma. Nah, that's going to be out the door when earth finally gets to that fourth dimension, that etheric plane. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be that, you know, Earth's evolution right there. But it goes through 7 cycles of existence. The law 7, the law of organization, my people. So that's what it is right there. But and I want to say something else. Religion. As far as religion is concerned, y'all, we still looking at 10 to 30 years of religion being around.
So are people gonna die in 10 to 30 years? Man, people aren't gonna stop being religious. Look, when I was younger, I had when I was like a teenager, or even early 20s, I had this really naive idea. I was like, man, people are becoming more secular. Someday there's gonna be, like, no religious people. And, like, that's just not gonna happen, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not religious. I'm a materialist. I'm a secular humanist. But I just don't believe there will ever be a time when there are human beings and there is not some sort of religion. It's just not how people's brains work. It's just not. Is that fair? Is that good? Not necessarily. But, like, human beings are really irrational. Maybe someday will be a different thing and something will come out of humans, and if we survive long enough, that's different. But the way Homo sapien brains work, we love to come up with these big overarching meta-narratives. I just don't see it, man. I just don't see it.
You know, New Earth.
The best he can hope for is that what people do believe, even when it is irrational, try and make sure it is a non-harmful thing, or even try and use that thing for good. That's really the best he can do. And certainly try to convince people of what you consider the truth if you want to, but...
Can't be now. It can't come in now, you know, because of religion. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's...
Green Guy with the tip says, making a better world takes time and you have to work at it every day, like a garden. People say my garden looks great, but it takes daily weeding and care. Or, if it's overgrowing and out of hand, just say fuck it and rip it all out and start again.
It's really a negative thing because they don't tell you what you really need to know, you know? I never learned about a chakra in church. They don't even teach that. They don't teach you the universal laws.
Chakras are not part of Christianity, sir, that's why.
Which is what
and presumably you were going to a Christian church.
Governs our existence here on this earth, all of us. And go to the typical Christian, Baptist, Methodist, whatever, and ask them to name 2 universal laws. You're lucky if you get the law of gravity. You might not even get...
That's a law of physics.
Get that. Just to keep it real. Just to keep it a boat with y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. And that's bad. They don't teach you what you need to know. So church gonna have to be gone, like, far as for the new earth to actually be established, my people. You know? But we still got a while before that happens. Right now, it's like in purging. It's in the purging mode right now, my people. You know, as far as the earthquakes, volcanoes, hurricanes, there's gonna be a lot of that, you know what I'm saying, later on.
Natural disasters, those never happen.
Soon, you know what I'm saying, for us here. But yeah, it's gradually, you know, evolving, you know, Earth, for real. And when it finally gets to the 4th dimension, it will be no more evil or wickedness here, you know. It's going to be straight light, pure light, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be heaven on
I prefer gay light. Comes in lots of different colors.
Earth right there. But we won't see it, not in our lifetimes.
Fenekagami says, I think theosophy is popular right now is that I think for years more and more people felt like we are on the brink of a massive disaster. And while that's kind of always been true, let's be honest, that feeling is more reasonable now than any of us like. That plus economic strife does tend to push people in this direction. Yeah.
Unfortunately, y'all, I hate to break that bad news to y'all, man, but we won't see the promised land in our lifetime, but we're setting it. We're
Mr.
setting the
Silk,
balance
thanks for
now
following.
by getting information out there. You know, you'll share information on the other end. Keep doing that. Yeah, you're making a huge difference, whether you realize it or not. Whether you share information or live your life as an example. Stay focused, my people. 5.
Why did he end with 5? I don't get that. Whatever. Oh, it's that JP guy. The guy in the helmet who made his own stupid theme song, again with AI. I'm not gonna make you listen to the theme song again. We heard it.
You know, I got a date with happened to me. What's up, everybody? JP here. I'm happy to be here to bring you.
Oh, green guy with a $3 tip says, Hannah, is it okay that I tip and make you say stuff? When I tip $50, I feel bummed later. Like, man, I could have said more. It's fine. It's fine. If it became an issue, I'd let you know.
More information and more details of what happened to me in the Pacific. I know a lot of people are asking, hey, JP, are you okay? What's happening? You know, my last update with Dr. Sala, it was a tough update.
Dr. Sala, for those that don't know, I don't know what his doctorate is in, whatever he alleges it to be in. But he does, what is it called? It's this show, Exopolitics Today. It's this guy. I've shown him briefly before, I think. If it wants to load.
Subject.
There we go. Dr. Michael Sala. Does anyone want to look up what his doctorate is in?
To give out.
Restricting us to only one shitty AI song per stream. I'm trying to, and I'm sure some people are like, why is Hannah showing so much AI slop lately? I am filtering out the vast majority. You have no idea how bad it's gotten in conspiracy communities. It's like mostly AI slop now. It's gotten much more difficult to find, like, pure crazy from actual human beings.
You know, I got taken by force.
So I'm doing my best to limit it. But you gotta understand, the field I'm picking from now is just rife with AI crap.
By these people, and they were trying to force me into the Ark, right? And when I was with the Nordic, I could see the force field. It was like a bluish force field. I'm getting a little bit more into details. A bluish force field.
Bluish force fields are fine. They'll just repel you. It's the red ones you want to look out for. A red force field, it'll atomize you. I've seen movies, okay? The colors matter.
I pushed out these guys and they flew back, right? And they all, I could hear them falling and not say a word. So I told the Nordic, hey, let's go this way, let's go this way. And he...
For those that don't remember, Nordics are one of the species of alien that UFO people believe in. They're the ones that look like sort of Aryan, Nordic, like pale, blonde-haired, blue-eyed, like they're like the frankly the Nazi image of Aryans. They're the Nazi image of like the Aryan quote unquote race.
Followed me and I just blacked out. So I know.
What about pink force fields?
A team.
I know a lot about pink force fields. I hit one and now I look like this.
Was in the other side of this ship that we were running in. They brought us back to the...
Wait, did he say Atlantean? If so, that's Atlantis on the bingo card, let me see.
And I just blacked out. So I know a team was in the other side of this ship that we were running in. They brought us back to the location where...
Oh, he didn't? Okay, never mind.
Where I was, you know, and I think the Nordic went his own way. like I said before, these ships, right? These arcs, these massive ship arcs, they all have the same room. It's like going to a grocery store in Florida. They all look the same, you know. You go to the produce section is in the same spot in every place that you go. So these arcs are like the same thing, you know. Every room it looks the same. So yeah, they were trying to activate, and then when we brought us back, a week and a half passes, and all this crap happens around the world, you know. So they were kind of pissed off.
They were kind of pissed off. Doesn't he sound like an elite alien super soldier?
That they didn't get access to these arcs, you know. And I'm really happy. I want to give a shout out to NASA for posting the arc of
I'm surprised there's not more beef between the flat earthers and the super soldier people. You'd think they'd be natural enemies.
Brazil of Carlos Novas.
Michael Sala claims to have a PhD in government from the University of Queensland. All right, there you go. At least it seems real, maybe. I don't think anyone would make up that they have a PhD in government.
I'll put a picture here. That was really interesting. You know, they didn't necessarily say it was the arc, but you know, timing, everything is timing, you know. And I think NASA is being run by somebody really good right now, one of the white hats. So I'm really proud for that. So there's movement around the world about the arcs, about different vimanas people are finding in different places around the world, ancient ruins that are being discovered on the moon and on Earth.
I think the moon would be a bad place to build, you know, with the lack of atmosphere and all. I just think that'd probably be a hindrance to your base, but whatever.
The Antarctic arc giving a signal that it's more than other arcs.
There you go, that's the signal. Are you gonna say he's lying with this kind of evidence?
The Brazilian arc being shown to the world by NASA. What happened in the Pacific by the update I did with Dr. Sala. The Atlantic arc.
Hannah, are you sarcastic or real? PhD in government sounds fake. You know, I ask myself that same question. Am I sarcastic? Or am I for serious? I don't know. I usually post hoc decide depending on how what I say goes down.
It's self-stationary.
That's a joke for the record.
And it's still in the same location, but more south and east. And it's activating.
He's cosplaying as an ICE agent. He's not currently violating anyone's rights, so he's not doing a very good job.
All these arcs are activating. And people are having more contacts with these UFOs. And that's quite awesome, you know, that this is happening. I understand that a lot of people right now, a lot of people are scared what's happening. But all we have to do is bring the love vibration, okay? We project
Vibes-based conspiracy on the bingo card.
that love vibration.
Because when I think soldiers, I think love.
I love what Emery Smith said in his Facebook. If you have time, hear the words that he says. It's so true. You give out to the universe what you want to happen, you know? And so true. You know, we got to reflect love and care and send prayers to everybody in these conflicts, you know.
This is such a stupider version of thoughts and prayers. Send out good vibrations. Hey, people are dying. People are dying. And your little self-aggrandizing act here isn't changing that. Stop making this about you. Stop making the deaths of other people about you.
Scared. So I want to project love. I want to take 1 minute. I want to meditate with everybody here. I know this is a video, but this is the same thing as me being with you guys. You know, it's light, it's frequency, it's vibration. So this is as we are right now. I want to take 1 minute and I want to meditate with you guys. Let's take 2 minutes, okay? Evil.
What? I skipped ahead like 10 seconds. That wasn't meditation.
And they're evil. And let's just meditate, okay? And try to remove that energy, okay? Share this video. We're gonna start. Let's see, a good time. Okay, we're gonna start right now.
Okay, do it. There we go.
2,
Ugly Scone, thanks for following.
3.
There. Finally quiet. It's
Let's
beautiful.
bring that love.
Oh, that wasn't 2 minutes.
Vibration, that love frequency to the max around the world. Share this video the most that you can.
He's breathing heavy in that mask. Is he considered not? Let's see what we have. Oh, this looked funny. We've seen people channel aliens and stuff before, but have we seen two people do it together? No, we haven't. So here's that.
And now,
Oh, also, we're almost halfway done with the stream. I'll do my stuff now. If you haven't already, if you're on YouTube, do me a favor and thumbs up the stream. I'd appreciate it. If you want to help support the channel, you can always do so via Super Chats on YouTube, memberships on YouTube, subscriptions on Twitch, or gifting subs. It's always helpful. We are getting towards the end of the month and working towards the sub goal. So if you want to help out the channel, that'd be a good way to do so. All right, continuing.
from beyond our dimension, this is the Jeff Mara Podcast. Here's
Too
Jeff.
many goddamn
My
podcasts.
guests are
Pause a spec. Thanks for 500 bits. And hydrate.
A.J. Kavanaugh and Thomas Workman, who since meeting in 2016 have developed the rare ability to simultaneously channel the guides.
Yeah, sure, why not?
A unified collective of
I'm
archangels.
just gonna start claiming stupid shit. Really, it seems to work out for so many people. Apparently you can just say stuff, and some subsect of people will be like, oh, okay, that sounds right.
Ascended masters, ancestors,
I
elemental
want to be clear, this is on a channel with 236,000 subscribers. This is not some channel with no viewers. A lot of people believe this. God. What happened? It's like we flipped a page and all of a sudden we're back in the Dark Ages.
and intergalactic beings who speak from the universal mind. AJ and Tom, thanks for joining me and welcome.
Well, thank you so much. We're glad to be here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, today's going to be a great show because we usually have just one person channeling, but today we have something quite different and unique.
Am I crazy, or does the guy talking sound kind of like that TikTok AI voice? Do you guys know the one I'm talking about? It's kind of nasally, and it's did you know, baby? It almost sounds like SpongeBob.
How did this begin for you guys?
Well, it's a great question. You know, we wouldn't have expected it or planned for it. Both AJ and I were trained as channels separately in completely different separate locations. And when we came together, we started a meditation practice, which of course naturally leads to channeling. If you're a channel, the minute you go into meditation, voices start coming into your head.
Hey,
So
Veltwind.
I always channeled a collective of native ancestors I called the grandfathers. And AJ channeled a collective he called the beings. And so at the start, we would simply facilitate for one another. I would channel and AJ would ask questions. And then at some point we just knew to switch, and AJ would start to channel his beings and I would facilitate him. And we did that for quite some time until one day I channeled.
You guys know you could spend time doing literally anything else together, right? Like frauding? I don't know, just something more productive than whatever the fuck this is.
Channeled the beings and he channeled the grandfathers. And we were sort of like, what's that about?
How did that happen? It was just as much as a surprise to us as to anyone. And yet they came forward and the native ancestors said, well, who do you think we learned from? Which was fascinating answer to us. And they said, you know, in the divine realm, there is no separation like there is in your 3D earthly realm. And so, you know, all of these archangels and ascended masters and extraterrestrial beings, they all coexist together in the divine realm. And they said, we want you guys to come together and to channel simultaneously as a living example of this unity consciousness that is coming.
You're wonderful. Get to the channeling. We're gonna get to the goddamn channeling. Let's go. Do it, cowards.
Good. Well, I think we'll have Tom lead us in a little meditation of alignment, both for us and your audience. And so, you know, if you are viewing this, maybe take some time, press pause if you're in your car or something, and come back when you're not driving or when you've got a free space in your workday, and then tune in, do the meditation with us, and we'll bring in the guides.
Sounds good.
Fantastic. Great.
I don't have a problem with pickleball. I have a problem with Paul, of Paul and Morgan, and his obsession with pickleball. But that's for a different stream. That's a story for a different stream. I'm not going to waste a ton of time today talking about why I hate that man.
So I'm going to ask you and all of us to get comfortable and to take 3 deep breaths in and out. In and out. In and out. Allowing your breath to continue in this slowed, deliberate pace, focusing all of your attention on your breath, this gift of life that is feeding every cell in your body. Feel as the connection you have with Mother Earth rises from into your feet and up. And as your crown chakra opens, allowing in the divine realm, as above, so below, you are now secure and protected and aligned. From here, we open through our collective third eye, all of us here, and to call out into the etheric realm, this doorway that we all have into the etheric realm beyond this time.
Today,
there we go. I always love the voices. You're always curious what voices people are going to pick.
Gathered around this table, we welcome you here.
Greetings, dear ones. We are delighted to have this opportunity today to speak with you and share in your vibration at this.
I'm offended on behalf of whatever aliens exist out there in the universe. Like, this, like, doesn't it feel like a racist stereotype of an alien? Like aliens, like, we've never met any, you know? But, like, doesn't it kind of feel offensive? It has the vibe of a really racist, like, accent a white guy is doing, you know what I mean? It's got that energy, is all I'm saying. Can you be racist towards a group that does not exist? Probably not, but still.
Critical time of self-awareness and self-realization in that you step into an awareness of your...
Is this a minstrel show? No, it's a minstrel UFO.
An awareness of your I am, separate from your ego, separate from your material wants, in the understanding of the I from the divine perspective of a soul that has lived before and shall live again, and the am from the perspective of your physical incarnation in the 3D realm, your ability to manifest and co-create as a divine being. This again, separate from your material wants
I gotta
and
hear from the
separate.
other guy.
And not the darkness. It is often you who stay focused on that around you, which you believe affects you. And yet we are here to tell you that it is you that affect all around you. If only you would take on these energies, this knowledge.
This one feels a little more directly based on a racial caricature. I'm not gonna be specific, but like,
This ability that you have to set forth energy into motion. So often you wish to speak of the things around you that are affecting you, and yet we are suggesting to you.
Okay, we can move on. Thanks for dealing with that with me for a little bit. That was rough.
What can you see in this photo? I don't even think I have to say anything. But anyway, the double
Biden on the bingo card.
the double of Joe Biden, because the original Joe Biden was not there for a long time. The double showing off how not broken, I repeat, how not broken his foot is. And this is supposed to be just days after he allegedly fractured his foot. He is most certainly, most probably, obviously concealing an ankle monitor.
This is a common conspiracy theory for QAnon types, is they think that any celebrity or politician wearing like a boot, a medical boot, is concealing a medical, or rather some sort of ankle monitor, like you would get if you were on parole, or if you were on not parole, bond rather, or if you were found guilty for house arrest or something. Yeah, they've used this on anyone with a medical boot for the last 7 years.
The reason why they use this. I mean, we've seen this with the same type of
Hitting all the Nazis today. There's a lot of them now, unfortunately.
thing on their foot with Hillary Clinton and many other politicians and actors.
Green guy with a tip about the last video. If you're channeling someone, I don't think you would be copying their voice like in the movies, but you would be used mind-to-mind talking for the person. If you channeled a friend, they would be speaking through you using your voice. The metaphysics of an imaginary thing are up for debate, to be honest.
Actors and
like arguing what unicorn horns are made out of, you know?
Key figures in corporations like CEOs and stuff, lots of things. So it's the same over and over again. These photos, they started surfacing, of course, several years ago now. So we're speaking about the COVID time pandemic. And it just makes things easier to understand in a graphic way, undeniable evidence. And we can speak about the MAGA patriots and the white hat military and Q and everything you want, but I just wanted to show you photos, and these are photos, and there's so many of them, and this is just with Joe Biden. And remember, Joe Biden was the president of the United States of America, right? And like President Trump said over and over again, rigged elections in 2020. So
they were not rigged in 2020. They were not rigged in 2024. Please stop with this shit. I'm so tired. Green guy with a $1 tip says, so D&D? Kinda. Except people know D&D's a game. Usually.
The only way is the military way, for those of you who understand, those of you who are in the know. I just wanted to use photos and pictures to shut people's mouths, especially those who are just blah 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 because they don't research, they don't investigate, even though all this information has been made public for the public eye and for the people in the public to know about and to see. It's just a matter of like sitting down in your butt and searching, and that's it. So it's and you can find, I've shown you before in the previous video, the photos of all the politicians and the chief executive officers of big corporations and lots of actors and people in the media and stuff. So yeah, what can I say? And that type of thing on the feet, which is used for when people are having fractures because they did sports or activities. Well, yeah. In this case, he's perfectly fine. He needs something like that because you have to conceal the ankle monitor. So if you're not chipped.
How about he's just old as fuck, so his bones get damaged easily? Like, this isn't that much. He's like 80 something, man.
You use an ankle monitor, which is a device that allows you with GPS to be tracked by the military because you're under arrest. So, what else can I say? If not even photos and pictures allow you to understand, not you specifically, but I mean in generally speaking, then it's pointless to actually try to explain things to people anymore. Yeah, I'm gonna show you more photos and pictures as we move along, but I mean, what's more important than showing you one of the presidents, right? I mean, I could show you the things with President Obama and his, Michael Obama, Michelle Obama, Michael.
Transphobia, transvestigation on the bingo card.
With the penis. And I can show you stuff with Bill Clinton as well, and with Bush.
Bill Clinton has a penis. I know that.
The heck, Joe Biden is like way closer, right? In time, in the timeline, because of COVID and everything else. COVID was so many things. Now I understand. I have the lists of people and so many things, so many. Now that now we have the information from the military, which was released to the public with specifically by the orders of the military, so that the public can know. So that's why Trump is part of the movement of the Patriots and the MAGA and everything else. And things happen for a reason when it comes to this, because now we have the photos and the pictures released by the military for us to understand. Back in the day, we didn't have this. Back in before the COVID pandemic. Now we have them.
You didn't have photos before COVID?
So, I mean, these are like quite old. I was lazy because I didn't know where to search for them. But this thing actually came out in 5 years ago now, in 2020. So.
So shouldn't he be in jail then? If you think that this was 5 years ago and it was hiding a secret sealed indictment. What?
It's just
and then he was president during that. What?
Me being late explaining because I was lazy and ignorant and I didn't care about all.
Tiring. So tiring. How about this guy's best evidence for the Tartarian mud flood? I'm sure Amber will appreciate this. Kagami says, man, I know H-Bomb was talking about chuds at the time, but he really was right when he said, these people aren't talking to you, they're talking to themselves. They're not posting this on their timeline to be engaged with, they're posting it to build a wall between them and reality. I can't really think of another reason for so much conspiracy content to become so much AI slop, other than grifting, of course. CT content is so ego-driven, I can't imagine AI is as satisfying. You'd think, but they do love it. It's like a mirror. AI is like a mirror. And boy, do conspiracy theorists love to look at their reflection. Is that telling on themselves for saying he's lazy and ignorant? Yes. Conspiracy theorists tells on themselves on the bingo card.
Greetings, Greetings, everyone, and welcome back to the Restitutor Orbis channel for another live stream edition. And after a brief hiatus, we are back with Mud Flood Best Evidence. And let me extend a welcome to all viewers, all Prime Explorers, and all others joining us. What are we really going to do? We're going to examine what a mud flood is, and we're going to look at some of the best evidence that we have.
For those that aren't familiar with the Mud Flood Tartaria conspiracy, basically there's a group of people that think all of history is fake, and that like 100 to 150 years ago there was a great reset, and that we discovered a bunch of buildings from an ancient civilization that used to rule the whole world called Tartaria, and that all of our buildings that are like neoclassical or Baroque, anything from before sort of the mid-century modern era, anything before that, secretly we didn't build that, we unburied it from the mud flood.
We're also going to examine some of that evidence and try to determine exactly what it is that it's telling us. But to address the elephant in the room, what exactly is a mud flood? And that's where we're going to start, because there are a few different definitions. And is there an official definition? We also have to remember that we're looking at things that many others would label or categorize as pseudo-history or pseudo-science. So we're just going to look at things objectively and come to our own.
I love when people are like, we're going to look at this objectively. How? You are subjective.
Conclusions, basically, again, doing the things that we're not supposed to do. Now, for frequent viewers of the channel, you probably know what particular structure that we're looking at here, don't you? Once again, we're back to building number 1 in our explorations, the Iowa State Capitol, which is always our baseline building. Now, this is the western look. In other words, the camera is set up to the west of it, and we're looking to the east, for those of you who aren't familiar with it. And it's really good to see everybody, and I'm glad everybody's showing up for this exploration, because really, mud flood is one of the core concepts of old world theory. However, whether you subscribe to the theory or not, or you have other theories, it is something that's very interesting and needs to be explored, because there are a lot of images and there are a lot of records. I'm going to use that term from here on out. I'm not going to say the official historical account or anything like that, because guess what? The official historical account changes day by day, because, we have historical revision. So according to the record of the Iowa State Capitol,
our understanding of history is refined, and certainly you can look at historiography to see how the narratives of different eras have been shaped by the respective norms and beliefs of that particular era. But that doesn't mean that the totality of what we consider historical evidence is changing, or that the narrative itself is fundamentally shifted. How we perceive certain events might have changed, but we're under agreement about events that were as recent as 100 or 200 years ago. That's very recent historically. It's not something that's completely getting wiped out and rewritten regularly.
This is one of the early construction photos. We don't have an exact date on it. Going off of the step-by-step construction process, this is early 1880s, before they finished the dome. And you may recall that when we did our little exploration on our little diamond or regional area in the Midwest of the United States.
Shouldn't the fact that this is a picture of it under construction kind of blow a hole in his whole ideology?
With the capitals.
Because he thinks they didn't build this. He thinks they found it.
Of Iowa in Des Moines, Minnesota in St. Paul, Wisconsin in Madison, and then, of course, Illinois in Springfield, not Chicago. And within that particular area, it seemed as though there seemed to be some sort of exception from the effects of the last reset. Again, the theory that a reset occurred circa 1800 to 1850, if you go by the current dating system, and you know that we question that as well.
What do you mean you question it? It's what? The cap? It is what it is. It's the what?
What's interesting looking at this state capitol is it looks like it's been subjected to some very terrific.
Yeah, we can go over bingo after this.
Forces. And remember, this is all brand spanking new at this point, but yet we see foliage, trees that are growing. But we have this little shack right here on the base. And then, of course, because it's on a hill, as many of these structures tend to be, a very prominent hill, we also see that there's other houses and dirt and ground leading right up to it. Now, you may recall in our previous explorations of the Iowa State Capitol, it has a very extensive underground and tunnel system. And in fact, there are images that indicate that state records are stored there. Now, what's actually in those records is up for anybody's guess. They also have a very great library. Now, of course, if you've seen the interior of the Iowa State Capitol, you know that these images do seem to be, well, quite a contradiction from what you'd expect to see, because they're formal images that show you a palace. The exterior is a palace, the interior...
It's not a palace, it's a state house. He calls any building that he thinks is fancy enough a palace, and it's very annoying.
...is very definitely a palace, but it's a state capitol, the only 5-dome state capitol in the United States. But you look at this other image, which is oddly enough from the same time frame, and shows the dome being completed. Now, about the only change you really see is that the little shack here has been removed. So I don't know, perhaps the dome builders or the contractors actually lived in that little shack that we saw. But other than that, it looks pretty much the same. Even the same scaffolding. What exactly were they doing with that scaffolding? Who knows? And why am I suggesting that the Iowa State Capitol itself may be a mud flood building? Well, I don't know. And you'll often hear the terms mud flooder. And what's mud flooder mean? It simply means a building that's been subjected to the mud flood. Now, I know you're saying, get to the point. What exactly is a mud flood? I'm working to it, so just stay with me. But you're suggesting that in this mud flood, or this sudden change of mud that's overflowed around this building, that it's what's caused this unique condition that we see. Now, you can accept...
There's no indication that there's mud around the building. What are you talking about?
Records that we have.
It's just a building.
Really was constructed by the good people of Iowa in the United States circa 1871 to 1886. And maybe you even believe that the architect himself actually placed all those beautiful column statues and every brick and even every little block of gold. Yes, the Capitol Dome is covered in gold, and they even have the temerity to tell us that it's cheaper to cover it in gold than to paint it gold. That's what they say. But yet...
I mean, if it's very thin layers of gold, I could see that. Like, gold flake and, like, really thin layers of gold are not expensive. You can find, like, gold sheet, like, stuff at the store to put on food that's quite cheap.
There's something that really stands out about
gold leaf. Thank you, Stone Corbell.
And looking at these early images, so here's the little shack where I guess the dome building contractors lived. I'm just going to say that. And then here in the second image, the little shack's gone. But aside from the addition of the dome itself, it looks a lot the same. Now, of course, you always have to ask questions about these images. Are these images legitimate historical images from the time frame they're attributed to? Have they been in some way modified? Were they intentionally modified, or were they unintentionally modified? We already have all these questions, and we're just looking at one single building. And of course, I relate it back to the Iowa State Capitol because that is our building number one. That is the building that we compare all of the buildings. This was a structure that, according to official records in the United States, in the great state of Iowa, which, by the way, is known for its agrarian practices. It is the Corn Belt. It is the middle of the Corn Belt. It has the best soil in the Union. But it's not exactly a harbinger of gold or other precious materials, and yet somehow they're the only state that built a 5-dome state capitol. Again, going off of official records.
It's just a choice aesthetically. It's not like having 5 domes is inherently objectively better. I don't understand why you care. Like, the Michigan Capitol building looks different, but it's got its own thing going on. What?
But there's also something else when you look at the numerous renovations of the Iowa State Capitol. You'll see that it reveals the foundation. And that's where things get very interesting because we see how deep underground it goes. Now,
it's the foundation, and you already expressed that there were underground basement areas. So yes, you build that first. You dig out a basement or the tunnels, and then you build the foundation, and then you build on top of that. So when you're working on it further later, you might have to dig out parts of the foundation to get to it because it's underground. I think a lot of this comes from people not living in areas where basements are a thing. Because, like, I'm in Michigan. Lots of houses, maybe most houses have basements. So I'm, like, very used to that kind of thing. But a lot of the mud flood people don't seem to recognize or understand buildings being built underground at all. It's very weird.
You may recall our on-site explorations. We know that it has a lower level. In fact, the main entrance actually takes you right into the lower level, where you go into security, and then you are free to explore this incredible palace. And I strongly suggest if you're in Iowa that you do so. It's free and it's quite enjoyable. It's also always comfortable on the inside in this massive structure because they seem to have a perfect HVAC system, whether you go winter or summer.
I mean, they probably have a lot of money for it. They're the state. It's the capital. They're going to spend money on the HVAC system.
And so that's just setting the stage for what we have here. We're looking at this. Oh, here we go. I love this. And that's why you're actually saying something like this, isn't it? And, I just thought I would highlight this because why do you even have to say anything like this? Oh, let's just roll with insults. Hilarious. Anyways, when you look at the actual foundation here of this particular structure, you can see the same thing. And you can see two workers right here where you have these original blocks as part of the foundation. Now you look at the original construction of this structure and you'll see that they just show a couple horse teams and some people that are actually planning it and constructing it. And there's always scaffolding around it. In fact, they even tell us that in 1873, they had to replace the original foundation stone because the 1871 foundation stone cracked. So yes, a series of stories that all come around that.
The obnoxious little laughter. He hasn't even given a reason he thinks that's absurd. He just, de facto is laughing at the idea that they've replaced the foundation stone before. Remember when he said this was going to be an objective analysis, and it's just dripping in his weird, snide, overconfident bullshit? He thinks this is objective? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Oh, brother. Someone's really trying to disrupt me. I can't imagine why. Well, that's okay, because that tells me that I'm on the right track.
Oh, we got a troll on YouTube. That's shocking. It must be part of a secret organization to stop you from getting the truth out. It's not like there's trolls on the internet, you fucking narcissistic dweeb.
So, no worries about it. You can keep trying. You've tried so hard and you've never been able to do it. And I guess that just really irritates you. Anyways, looking at the foundation stones, this is exactly what we see with many of these other structures. And we'll look at the other famous example. But it gives you the indication that there's a lot more to them, that they were built in a much more elaborate way, and there's a lot of mystery that goes deep in the ground. Unless, again, you really want to believe, and remember, they're doing this renovation with modern equipment that was not available in the 1870s.
Yes, so they probably have fewer people working on it, or at the very least it'll be quicker to get done. Just because we can do something with modern equipment now, faster, easier, more cheaply, doesn't mean it couldn't be done earlier with more people, more expense, more time. A lot of inventions don't allow us to do completely new things. They allow us to do things we were already doing faster, more safely, potentially for cheaper. How does he not get this?
Again, according to official records. But here you see it. You got your little digger and your two guys just sitting around. So I guess that kind of reflects what we'd expect to see from the construction photos in the 1870s.
I can put together a piece of furniture quicker with a power drill if I need to drill a bunch of stuff, you know what I mean? Or screw a bunch of things in. It doesn't mean I can't do it with a normal screwdriver.
But it's a recurring tale with all of these structures that are deemed mud flood structures or irrigation. So that starts with the Iowa State Capitol. Now, there's something to be aware of. Because of the is a, how shall we say, very, very controversial theory, or maybe it's not, or maybe it's just something that's hard to ignore, it should be noted that there are a lot of images that may have been intentionally modified. Because as usual, whenever we have something that there's a lot of evidence and there's a lot of background on it, we have to obfuscate the word for some reason. Now, I'm not suggesting that there's any official authorities behind this. I would never suggest any such thing, but I'm sure there's a lot of people who just simply do with their time out there that decide to put together photos. Now, what they want to do, are these photos real? Are they not real? Is it just something to try to look stupid? Because the answer always is, instead of just asking questions and genuinely exploring something, you call people stupid. point your finger in their face and say they're stupid. And that's how you're going to try to discredit them. And it's a very, very old tactic, and it's very predictable. Much like when you try to group people into certain groups and also play according to that mentality. That's very predictable as well. But whether these images are authentic or not, we are looking at images such as the construction images of the Iowa State Capitol. We'll be looking at images of 3 cities that all conducted regrading in the United States. And we take the United States because of the fact that it has a very compressed timeline. So there's...
All right. Let's take a look at the bingo card. We have uses AI, overt anti-Semitism, QAnon reference, spurious, no, maybe not spurious symbology. Incorrectly believes evidence is self-evident. Giants, dimensions beyond our own. Yeah, where's Cat makes a guest appearance? That one is on there. Hannah mentions Blu-rays. Transphobia, transvestigation. Tartaria. Clintons, Bidens, Obamas. One of our cats makes a guest appearance. Sad that I never get a bingo on this board. It's virtually impossible. That would be funny, though. Anything else? Reptilians? Think that's maybe it? Spurious symbology for anything in particular? Because I couldn't think of one. I'm not saying it didn't. I just... Oh yeah, conspiracy theorists tells on themselves for the one dude. Deep state? Did someone say deep state? I don't recall that. The Nazi lady mentioned implants. She did, but she doesn't mean it in the microchip sort of way. She means it in a weird metaphysical way, so that's a little different. Wait, what was 49? I'll check that real quick and then we'll move on. Oh yeah, it doesn't understand architecture. Duh.
They've been here, some of them have been here a long, long time. They have lifespans that are thousands of years.
Oh, Just a Peach says, is he talking about the cornerstone? Because you would say they were replacing the foundation, not a stone. They also pour a concrete foundation to make it stronger. I'm not sure. It's hard to tell with him.
They're carnivorous. They are not friendly to mankind. You know, and we've been told, you shouldn't talk about that. You know, there are other people say, well, you better not talk about the reptilians. Well, you know, bull. You know, why not? According to the Andromeda,
because it makes you sound nuts.
They're responsible for 31,712 children disappearing.
Oh, well, the Andromedans said it, so it's gotta be true. People from Andromeda are liars. You can only trust people from Beetlejuice.
And I'm supposed to just shut up and not say anything about it because people don't want to hear it? That's tough. That's tough.
You come across a subject like reptilian aliens here on the Earth, you better go back and do your homework, because if it sounds crazy, it's probably true.
That's really bad advice. If it sounds crazy, it's probably true. You are gonna believe so much stupid bullshit if you take that as an axiom.
Totally convinced that the world that we live in is being run by entities which are not human. That's my personal belief.
The bloodthirsty God of the Old Testament, I say, is this archontic force. And the Gnostics described how the sons of God, actually the sons of the gods in the original text, interbred with the daughters of men and basically changed the human race. What the Gnostics do is talk about basically the same thing.
So it's very powerful confluence there, or synchronicity, that the Dead Sea Scrolls come out of the ground at the very same time that a celestial disk crashes into the ground in Roswell.
What? What is that fucking connection?
And now we have this mixture happening.
I don't know if you know this. The Earth is made of ground. There's water too, but the parts that aren't water are ground. So that's where you're gonna find some stuff.
It's like,
especially because of gravity. That's where it tends to gravitate to. The ground.
Okay, how do these two things relate? Is it possible that some of the entities that are described in the Gnostic text, the archons, for example, match up with the entities, the alleged entities that were found in the crash disk at Roswell?
They are not flesh and blood, but they can embody that which is. They are not bound by the laws of time or space. They are the whisper behind your darkest thought, the glitch in your memory, the unseen hand steering civilizations into chaos. They are the archons.
No, this feels like thinly veiled anti-Semitism again. Sorry, it's just that usually in conspiracies, when they're talking about some secretive group of people that control the world, that are nefarious, it ends up being a dog whistle. It sucks.
Parasitic, non-physical invaders spawned in the shadow of the stars, and they are already here. According to the Pistis Sophia, they are rulers of the aeons, seen as archontic in nature, operating as false gods or cosmic jailers. The Vedas and Puranas speak of asuras and rakshasas, non-human, often reptilian or shape-shifting beings who interfere with humanity. The asuras are deceivers who pose as gods and battle for dominion over earth and the heavens. In Kabbalistic texts like the Zohar, they refer to qliphothic forces, shells or husks of spiritual impurity that cling to divine light and distort it. Some esoteric traditions link the qliphoth to archons as anti-creation entities that feed off spiritual entropy. According to the
What's spiritual entropy? That's confusing. Also, this is supposed to be a scroll, but it doesn't look like it has writing. It looks like it has impressions in it, like a Babylonian clay tablet. How strange. It's like it's supposed to be a scroll, but it's a scroll made of clay, written in fucking Sanskrit. What the fuck?
Expressed wisdom of the
Am I correct? Like, am I the only one that is bothered by the fact that this scroll has fucking... No? Okay. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm nitpicking.
Nag Hammadi scriptures.
Sorry, cuneiform. My bad.
Rediscovered in Qumran near the Dead Sea. These entities were never meant to enter our world. They were a cosmic error.
I mean, they weren't clay tablets. Maybe it was more cropped for you guys, but it was clearly a scroll. There was part at the end that was, like, rolled up. It was AI. It was fucking AI crap.
Creation of the demiurge, trapped outside the harmony of the living universe. But somehow, they found a way in. Long before recorded history, before Sumer and Egypt, there were great civilizations, Lemuria and Atlantis, beacons of consciousness.
Ooh, Atlantis on the bingo card. Green guy says, so we're on the ground, and when we swim and get to deep water where the bottom is far down or can't be seen, we get scared a bit, but fish are like, this is fine. They can go on their whole life without seeing land or ground. Yeah, I mean, they live in water, man.
Consciousness and
That'd probably be a sweet deal, living in the water. Probably better on your body. I feel like gravity really sucks and makes my spine hurt. Bipedalism was a mistake. I know it's energy efficient, but my spine hates it.
Cosmic alignment. But they fell, catastrophically. Not just to fire and flood, but to infiltration, corruption, a psychic virus unleashed from beyond our dimension. And the infection didn't stop with Earth. Some say the archons latched onto entire extraterrestrial races. hijacking minds, warping intentions. Among them, the Reptilian Dracos of the Draco star system, a once proud warrior race, now twisted into instruments of domination and control. This is not just our story. It is a cosmic war for consciousness, and humanity is at the center of it.
Can I just say something also? I know that this aesthetic wasn't, like, originated from Doctor Strange, but in particular, the orange glowy sigils version of magic from Doctor Strange has just replaced every other visual representation of magic. And I hate that. I hate that it's all fucking homogenized into the fucking Doctor Strange shit. I see it everywhere. It annoys the hell out of me. And, like, it was pretty cool in Doctor Strange when you saw it for the first time. It was like, oh, okay, this is a fun way to show magic. But it just gets used to death.
I am totally convinced for myself, and this is just one man speaking, but I am totally convinced for myself that there is such a thing as reptile alien gods or reptile aliens. Not because David Icke says so, because I'm the one that told David Icke about it when I brought him here back in 19...
Imagine trying to take credit for the work of David Icke. That's sad.
92. Let me finish. I brought David Icke to America back in 1992, and I sat with him and talked with him about the aliens and the reptile aliens, and I showed him all my documents on it, and he got interested in it, and today he's famous for talking about...
David Icke is famous for helping popularize the reptilian conspiracy theory.
A subject.
Former sports guy in the UK.
That I told him about a long time ago. But I believe that there are reptile aliens here. There's no doubt in my mind about that. There are many different kinds of life forms out there, and maybe some of them have come here from other places in the universe who, on their planets and on their system, they were reptilian. And they have come here, like all the other different kinds of aliens that are coming here, and they're messing with us. It's just like a party, you know, and when the...
Bummel Homestead with 100 bits says, I think the problem is switching to bipedalism after you've put so many points in quadrupedalism, fucked up spine curving all over the place.
And there's a big party, and they have party crashers. Gangs come in from other places that come into the party, and they're coming in and saying, hey, these are y'all a bunch of young teenagers. We're grown men like a motorcycle gang, and they come in and take over everything. And take over the whole party and destroy everything.
What about them being carnivorous, and particularly with our children, all these missing children?
Yeah, I know. I mean, there's a whole story behind that. But just go and
another group of people they think are eating children.
Read Don Juan, where Don Juan, the Mexican shaman priest, said...
I wonder if it's just because, like, your young being eaten is such, like, a primal fear. You know what I mean? It's just that this trope... oh, God, I'm not trying to Carl Jung here. I'm really not trying to Jung. But, like... I wonder if the reason that so many crackpots are afraid that someone is, like, eating their children is because there's some sort of really deep primal fear of having your young eaten by a predator. Be so funny if it was just, like, an echo of a weird, like, antiquated, you know, instinct. Yeah. Green Guy says, so fish and sci-fi giant space life forms could basically be the same, just floating around in, to them, nothing, eating smaller stuff and pooping. That sounds ideal. Just eating and pooping. That's what life's about when it comes down to it.
That there are aliens who look like us. In his book, Carlos Castaneda's books are very famous. But he said in his book that Don Juan, the Mexican spirit teacher, said that there are aliens who look like us, but they have been manipulating us and lying to us and tricking us, and they're very, very dark and evil, and they're manipulating the whole human race, and they have been from...
Or maybe predators fear becoming prey, could be. That'd be more similar to something like the book War of the Worlds, which was very much sort of a reverso British Empire coming in and invading a colony, like creating a colony somewhere, but reversed with the Martians and the tripods. I could see that. I could see that.
Day one.
We fear what we are. Green Guys. Oh, no, I just read that. Sorry.
And I thought to myself, reading that, well, that's what I'm saying. The same thing. What Don Juan was telling Carlos Castaneda, is that we're being ruled by entities from somewhere else who have created us, and maybe there are good ones who have come from out there and who see us as a creation and who realize what's going on. They know who our creators are and what they're doing to us. So there may be...
Children have no meat, why eat them? Maybe they're big fans of Wagyu.
good entities out there like us who want to help us to get out from under this silly nonsense.
Veal. It's human veal.
So we're not at war with government. We're at war with these Elohim, these ancient gods who've been manipulating the human race. I've had enough of them.
All right, I'm sorry, I gotta pee real quick. We have about an hour left. This is my last little plug. If you want to help support the stream, you can either become a member on YouTube. We are going to be doing a patron and YouTube member stream on the 29th. We're going to watch another movie together. And if you want to help on Twitch, you can either become a subscriber or gift subscriptions. While I'm gone, Cher will tell you about Roald Dahl's Tales of the Unexpected. I've been watching this lately. I've seen it all before, but it's a fun anthology series. Unfortunately, Roald Dahl is an anti-Semite, so fuck him as a person, but he wrote some interesting short stories. I'll be right back. I have returned! Nemesaur, thank you for gifting 10 tier 1 subs. Appreciate ya.
Basically, the Andromedans feel that we as a race, human race here, have not had the opportunity to genuinely use our own free will because of subtle manipulations by other extraterrestrial
Did I enjoy the
influences.
episode Royal Jelly? I still haven't gotten to that one yet. I've watched it all before, but it's been some years. I'm still on the first season of my rewatch. My favorite episode so far was the episode where the wife gets a fur coat from her lover and concocts a scheme to kind of keep it and not have her husband understand what happened.
This is here. Originally, what was to occur was that the Pleiadians were to come in and to do, or to try to straighten out this mess, because the majority of us are of Pleiadian heritage. In fact, they have said, the Andromedans, that there have been 22 races that originally colonized the Earth. The first being a group of reptilians from Alpha Draconis. Now, and human and many other different types of life forms, etc. They have said for the last 5,700 years that we have been manipulated, and our belief systems have been
terrible
formulated
ad? Okay.
and projected for control of us. Therefore, we are not exercising spiritual truths because they've all been hidden from us, literally taken away, or blinded, or misconstrued, or adding extra definitions and words here and there to totally misalign us with what is true. So what happened was the Pleiadians were originally supposed to get more involved. What has happened, though, is that the Andromedans are not that pleased with the Pleiadians.
That's an Asari. That's an Asari mixed with a Borg. So sick of
Efforts
AI.
to really try to set things straight. And it is not that the Pleiadians aren't trying.
I can't wait for all media to be remixes of things I've already seen 1,000 times forever. That sounds great.
Just that what has happened is that they, as a race, have had many civil wars and have been very much in the warrior space that we are now.
Thanks for the link.
Especially with each other. And that they have just now made their leap away from that into spiritualness, to a higher vibration and evolution. They're truly evolving on a spiritual level.
One of the races?
The Pleiadian race as a whole.
The entire race, the entire
Yes,
group of them. Even the bad ones that were here under the pyramid.
Yes, well, no, not them. They haven't, that's why they're here. Okay, they've made the leap. Now what's happened is when they come back here to Earth and they look at us, it is like their past comes face to face with them. And their attitude is, or their feeling is, well, you know, if we get involved in here again, we may have to become warrior-like again. So they are very hesitant about getting involved again here on Earth, outside of just some contacts. Well, the Andromedans are looking at this and saying, but this is not helping. So apparently, on some level, the torch has been passed to the Andromedans. The Andromedans are now coming back. They're here, okay, along with other groups of extraterrestrial races who have been involved with Earth at one time or another. And they are going to set...
It's always interesting that within conspiracy theories, as well as a lot of fiction, Earth is the most important place in the entire galaxy, if not the universe, if not the multiverse. I understand in, like, narrative fiction why that's the case, because we're human beings, and to be invested in a story, sometimes it's easier to relate to stuff on Earth than on, you know, planet Vulcan or whatever. But, like, when you're trying to posit real-life events, does it not ever strike them as strangely narcissistic and borderline solipsistic that within these theories, Earth is always the most important planet? It's very strange.
Things straight. They say we have a window of about 8 years. Now,
well, obviously that wasn't true, because this was more than 8 years ago.
Here's the situation. We have a group of renegade Greys here who are creating some real devastating atrocities. They're creating...
Kinda sounds like the government of the Greys should come get their boys then.
A lot of fear. They're doing genetic experiments which were not authorized. The Earth was supposed to be quarantined. They've totally violated that. So have the Giza intelligence. My understanding is, or there's been some talk about the Pleiadians having gotten removed Giza intelligence. The Andromedans have said there are still a few of them here, hiding. So, what has happened is they're doing some things. The Greys, the renegade Greys, not the benevolent. Okay, there are definitely two groups.
Okay, I'm gonna skip to the David Icke section that's up here in a little bit.
There are real specific reasons behind it because of manipulation of other races.
The Gnostic writings talk about the archons in terms of they have a great ability to manipulate and create fantasia. In other words, they can create false realities that the target thinks is real. And so we've got to keep...
If they can create fantasia, the childlike empress is going to need to hear about this.
Keep that in mind when we are trying to understand what's going on. That I see, you know, in UFO research and in alien research, as they call it, they're still obsessed with the physical. They still have this idea of physical beings flying around in physical spacecraft, when actually that is, at least often, if not all the time, they're just projections into this reality that we see.
I hate to bring this up. I try not to make fun of people's physical appearance, but are the reptilians sneaking into David Icke's house at night and cutting his hair funny as a joke? Alright, sorry.
And the real deal.
It's like it aspires to be a mullet, but with bangs. I don't get it.
The real point of manipulation of human affairs is going on way beyond what we can perceive as a reality. And so I think the reason that they take this reptilian form in the 1940s in Nag Hammadi in Egypt.
Okay, I'm moving on from this. Ah. Let's do another alt health device.
We're at the anti-aging medical store. We're looking at EMF.
The anti-aging medical store.
Protection EMF.
That sounds legitimate.
Protection devices, and this is a super cool product that we've got, which is referred to as a compensating magnetic oscillator. And these are...
It's a cone.
Very, very cool. These are for EMF protection against, well, cell phone towers.
Sir, it's a paperweight. It's a cone that's a paperweight. This doesn't do anything about EMFs, I promise.
Routers, Wi-Fi, 5G, anything that's basically entering into your
5G on the bingo card.
Personal space, if we will, or within your home, your apartment, or even your office. These are fantastic products. So this is actually a picture. We're out of stock right now on the larger one, on the right-hand side, the gold one. But we do have the purple one here.
I'm scared to know how much he charges for these. 1 second. Oh, $595 for the large one. The small one's $450 for a fucking paperweight. Wow. This should be very illegal if it's not. And if it is, what the fuck are the law enforcement doing? What the fuck?
Here. And basically the size of this determines the range that it's effective for. And so the...
Travis says, bingo. Can you post your bingo, assuming that you mean you have a bingo? Could you go to the live stream chat on Discord and post a screenshot of your card so I can see it?
The unit
if that is what you mean.
Itself
there should be a link in the chat in a sec to the Discord.
Compensates for the effects of Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, relay antenna, satellite communications, electrical networks, microwave, EM, light bulbs, smart meters, all the types of things right now that the body is basically being exposed to. So when you have this in here, what it's doing is it's basically sending off wavelength frequencies that when the
wavelength frequencies.
When the EMF radiation comes in, the frequencies.
Don't I have the Disney legal hookup? Can't you stop this doink of a manlet? I've contacted Disney about the Baxter guy, and this guy sells the Baxter products, but he doesn't produce them. So I don't know if this guy would get in trouble, or if just the Baxter guy will get a strongly worded letter. But I've already sent an email about that.
They're being emitted.
Posted? Let me take a look, Travis. Word salad 5G free space uses AI. Obama Clinton's. Yep, you did it! Hooray! You win, Travis. So that is our official bingo winner for today. Huh. How am I going to do this? Whenever it's on YouTube, it's difficult. Because YouTube, for whatever reason, doesn't let you specifically gift a membership to individual people. And I hate that they don't let you do that. Because I don't think, click and, like, gift you a membership. So what do we do? Either you can have me gift a membership randomly on YouTube. If you have a Twitch, I can give you a subscription on Twitch, or gift it randomly on Twitch or YouTube. I guess whichever you'd prefer.
From this are basically mitigating those.
But you won. So that's our official winner for the day. We'll still play for fun.
From not being hazardous. So the wavelengths coming off of this basically go out, and they go out on a in an effect basically 11 meters out. So this,
you have Twitch. Cool. What's your Twitch account name? If you could let me know, I'll write it down. Or if you want to appear in Twitch chat real quick, I'll gift you a sub if you don't already have one. Or I'll just write it down, and then when you need one, let me know.
unit right here covers about 1,000 square feet, 1,100 square feet. But it's basically...
Green guy with $1 tip says, Hannah, what's the next tip goal? I don't know. I haven't set one up yet because I'm still working on the edited content. And it feels weird to start another tip goal before I finish with the next one. And yes, his fire detector is beeping. I know it's annoying. I'm sorry.
11 meters out is sending out wavelength frequencies that when EMF frequencies come in, those wavelengths basically cancel out the EMF.
Like noise-canceling headphones, but for crazy people.
So this one here does, like I said, 11 meters.
Demibird does on Twitch. Easy. Oh, okay. It's always interesting when I don't know who's who on YouTube and Twitch, but I recognize, like, both, and I'm like, oh, that's the same person. That happens sometimes. Alright. Cool beans.
The gold one does about 20 meters, so that would cover about double the space. And so these are items that I have in the house I swear by. And I can bring this basically, this is my little workspace right here, but if I say, okay, I'm getting ready to call it a night, I can just come right in here, boom, and put it right here in the bedroom. So I can always keep it with me. Now, my place isn't huge, so technically the 11-meter diameter would actually be just...
Oh my god, they make claims about the distance it works.
Fine.
Well, of course, that way you have to buy multiple of these $500 paperweights.
But I figure, you know, what the heck, I'll keep the thing as close as possible. So there's a lot of products here at the anti-aging medical store that we carry, and including these magnetic oscillators, which are basically EMF protection against EMF radiation. We also have a lot of different grounding products, earthing products, including these...
That's the fucking towel he's selling for hundreds of dollars, or $150 for a small one, I think.
These earthing, I call them towels or little mini blankets, but the minute you touch those, you're grounding. That's also really good technology. But if...
Fun fact, that's the placebo effect.
If you're looking for something to protect against, you know, routing 5G, a lot of these different things, these magnetic oscillators are fantastic products. So once again, there's two different sizes. You can get the pricing on these. The one on the left, or the one here, which is actually purple, is 11 meters. The one that's gold is 20 meters. And so, you know, for having these in the home or having these in different places, there's also a keychain, which I'll do another video on. But
you know what might be a good next tip goal? Summer costumes. It's so hot, and some of the costumes, like the onesies, are very warm for the summer. So maybe the next tip goal will be I'll buy like 3 to 5 lighter costumes for the summer, and I'll change the loadout of what's allowed in the voting. That might be a good one. And they'll be cute, because they'll be skimpy, because it's summer, and you might get to see my cleavage. Some people like that, you know?
Here at the anti-aging medical store. The goal for us is to basically give the body what it needs and put you in an environment where you can start healing. So by getting items that basically knock out EMF and then getting you into products that are doing grounding, which is technically putting you into anti-aging, because immediately when you start grounding, your body is absorbing electrons, and when your body starts absorbing
Oh no, absorbing electrons!
You're immediately getting rid of...
I can't have any electrons in my body. Can you imagine if I had any electrons in my body? You know, like if electrons were part of every atom? That'd be embarrassing.
Free radicals. Free radicals are the largest problem in your body when it comes to causing ailments, disease, all different types of physical breakdown. So EMF magnetic oscillator, the compensating magnetic oscillator, give us a call for more information or for pricing, or go to our website, www.antiagingmedicalstore.com. At the Anti-Aging Medical Store, we are making the world healthier, one person at a time. Come visit us now and get more information off our website or give us a call. Thank you.
Jesus Christ. I hate this guy, and I'm working on a video about him. I know. I'm just so frustrated. I can't wait to finish this video and upload it so everyone can see all the shit I've seen and how scummy he is and all the ridiculous claims he makes, and then I can put it behind me and never think about him again. That'll be so nice.
So that's why in the movie, I think it was in the movie, The First Purge.
Green guy with a $3 tip says, my fire detector was going off, so I had to stare at each one till the beep, 60 seconds to see which one it was. Then I found out I have 7 fire detectors in my home. It was the last one in the garage. It's always the last place you look.
They created a coalition of hate groups to go against a certain demographic of blacks that was stuck on Staten Island, right? Because like I said, they need the melanin. They need not just any type of melanin. Everybody on the planet has melanin. Every living organism on the planet has melanin. But what they don't have is neuromelanin.
To be clear, this gentleman believes that there are forces stealing melanin from black people. All right, that's a new one. I've not heard this one before. This is honestly a new one for me. That's crazy.
Neuromelanin is what creates an intelligence molecule to where you're able to think outside the conscious energy grid system of the suprachiasmatic nucleus, which is the encryption over the brain.
Oh, you don't say. We have to reverse the polarity of the neutron flow. Okay, cool beans.
It's an intelligence molecule.
Okay, I'm gonna go back so we can hear that again, because that was like geek techno babble. That was pretty good word salad.
Molecule to where you're able to think outside the conscious energy grid system of the suprachiasmatic nucleus, which is the encryption over the brain. Wow. It's an intelligence molecule that creates granulations and prominences that is extracted from the sun heat genes, where you're harmonizing with the sun because the sun is a gateway, a portal to the star Polaris. Right.
The sun is a gateway to another star? That's a whole new kind of stargate, huh?
So that's why when you look at the word Bible means bi means two. And it's comprised of the Egyptian Book of the Dead and the Egyptian Book of the Life. And the Egyptian Book of Life is teleconnected.
Wait, you think that the Bible is the Egyptian Book of the Dead? No. Green guy says, I love my wife's melons. That's good.
To the sun.
My wife likes mine too.
The Egyptian Book of the Dead is teleconnected to the moon, right? So they know that by way of the silver key, they got to keep you stuck in this demiurge, and they're going to use it in a form of eugenics.
Keep you stuck in the demiurge. The demiurge is a thing from Gnosticism, and it's an entity, not a place. Lilac Rosenberg says the moon does look like Earth if you change absolutely everything around. It's true.
And they use the eugenics system to...
Lilac Rosenberg with a link to TikTok. Yeah, fun fact, if you take a picture of me and Carmen Electra and completely morph them, we look identical. It's true. That's a pretty good one. That's pretty good. People are funny.
To extract our physiology so they can have some type of genetic self-preservation. Now, this is all connected to the archonic forces and how they use artificial intelligence to harvest our energy. They harvest our energy through technology, eugenics, human emotion, neuromelanin, the Saturn moon matrix, because I was telling you, Saturn and the moon is the external hard drive of planet Earth, and they all—
Saturn and the moon are the external hard drives of planet Earth? Okay. Well, that makes sense. Let's make sure we eject those properly. We don't want to corrupt Saturn.
Also use the religion, because the religion is also a form of a technocrat system that's tethered connected to technology. And I'm going to show you by way of the sigil. They want to trick you into believing that you need technology in order to ascend on this planet when it's actually a lie. We already have the genetic format and the neurological faculties to harmonize with the sun as we get to a fifth dimensional civilization, because the hair is an antenna. That is the non-ether energy. Your eyes are the camera. Your ears are the satellites. Your nose is a sensor. Your heart is the electromagnetic generator, and the brain is the supercomputer, which is the neuroendocrine transducer, and your pineal gland is the virtual reality system that has the ability to manipulate the space-time continuum. But by—
Oh, this is a lot. I'm sorry, this is mentally exhausting to get through. Pause for a second for me to read a message. Lenin Cat says he just heard a bunch of other nonsense that he didn't understand, and now he has nonsense of nonsense. It's nonsense squared, nonsense inception. This is sci-fi AI, making more AI but getting dumber rather than smart.
By way of the technology,
it's the conspiracy singularity. The consingularity. We did it.
They use chemical neuromorphic connection to extract your energy, and it destabilizes the neurotransmitters, which is an electromagnetic sensor. So they're trying to mess up your transmission and connection, or your bioconductivity that's connected to the sun, right? This is why the archons, they need us, because they're ruler gods. They're not creator gods. They don't have the ability to create because they don't have human emotion, because human emotion travels on 0-point energy fields to where you're able to reset things by way of the heart chakra. When a heart chakra is activated, that's when you tap into the Christ consciousness. They don't have the ability to create, so that's why they use technology to harvest our energy, because they don't have the ability to create. Everything that's within the factions of the firmament is a prison planet. And they use the prison planet as a system of control by way of the technological devices that's connected to Saturn and the moon, right? This is what's going on right now, right? So the archon is artificial intelligence, right? So it's showing you right here in this demonstration, in this video I'm showing you, not this video, but this picture. It shows you the archons extracting our energy, right? Because the Earth is the embodiment of a hexahedron, which is a cube. A cube is a representation of the physical world or the material plane.
Time cube guy was onto something?
So they use the material plane to harvest our energy, right? By way of human emotions. I think I got a video to show you guys. I think I went too far deep. Let me get into some videos.
He's saying archons, A-R-C-H-O-N-s. It's archons. Archons.
Quick. Hold on.
It's an alien thing. Or an extra-dimensional entity thing. Some group.
Now, hold on. Okay. I know I got some videos. I was trying to, I was going in too much. So we finna get... Because you got to understand that artificial intelligence is being weaponized. You must understand that. You got to understand that, right? Now, one thing you got to understand about artificial intelligence is that I remember you guys seeing this video a long time ago.
Deep Lord with 40 bits says, I recently joined the civilian world and I hate it. Why are so many people so stupid? Mao was right in philosophy. I don't know if I can say that on Twitch. I don't know if I can say that. So, but then U.S. Reconstruction didn't work, but China's on the up and up. Well, there's some stuff in China that's not so great, like, you know, concentration camps. I'm not using that to excuse America either, but I think to full-on go, Maoism is good, is maybe a bit far, considering, you know, a lot of the stuff that happened. But I see your frustration. I see you're frustrated. Overthought with 100 bits says archons comes from archons. He's a grifter. We did it.
My computer froze up for a second. I know you guys remember this in this video.
I don't know if you guys know this. Mao did more things than just like getting rid of landlords. Fun fact.
A long time ago.
He did some like pretty objectively fucked up stuff. Just putting it out there.
And this video was going to demonstrate on how Norman Burgum, he was basically working with NASA, you know, in the CIA groups and KGB and things of that nature. So he has all the secret information talking about these black extraterrestrial entities who are actually archonic forces. So he said that he's seen 7-foot black people in outer space on planet Saturn getting out of a spaceship, right? So you got to read.
Said it, so it must be true.
What
do you think? People just say things that aren't true? That's not even possible.
Read the book, The Rainmakers of Saturn, because it's telling you how they cultivated the simulation and the demiurge by way of the extraction of the magneto-hydrodynamic Cassini gaps of the rings of Saturn that creates the plasmic holographic projection with subatomic particles, which are basically...
Altered Undying says, so Archon is also a term in the game Vampire the Masquerade. They're like the vampire secret police lower level agents. Yeah, I forget where the term comes from, but it's a pre-existing term. Is it a term for maybe a group of angels or something? I don't remember. Altered Undying, thanks for gifting 5 tier 1 subs, and we are almost on a hype train. If anyone wants to help start the hype train, either 100 bits or a gift sub would do it.
Cube shape, and this is how they created the firmament. They used the extraction of ice caps around the rings of Saturn, and they use it for soul trap mechanisms, because on the top of the hexahedron, one thing I'm gonna break it down later, but you got 7-foot blacks. These blacks are the archons that I was basically showing you. They're basically a part of the faction of the Luciferian Anunnaki who fell from grace. 1/3
Satanism on the bingo card
of the galaxy that went against the order of Anu.
An archon is each of the 9 chief magistrates in Athens. Thank you. I knew I had heard the term somewhere before.
So now they use planet Earth to harvest energy because they don't have...
Oh, duh. I heard... You know where I remember it from? Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Oh, that's good. I should read more books on classical history so I don't learn things from Assassin's Creed.
The ability to...
Minute left to start a hype train.
Yeah, because they're not in the magnetosphere, the abode of mentalism, the abode of the Most High, where they're able to become a creator god. They lost that privilege. So now they fell in frequency. They fell in frequency. When you go to the book of Enoch, it talks about how 1/3 of the galaxy was extracted to Mount Hermon, right? We're going to get into that too. So those archons that I was showing you are 7-foot blacks that come from outer space, and he was a witness to it. And I call them Saturnians because Saturnians is Saturnalia. Saturnalia is Chronos. Chronos is actually Satan. So this is a Luciferian...
Wow! That's convenient that everything ties back to Satan. Convenient that the religion he grew up on happens to be the correct one, at least to some extent. Stone Corbell, thank you for gifting 3 tier 1 subs, getting us to 300 for the month so far, and kicking off a hype train. 39% to level 3 on the hype train. If you want to help it out, get it to higher levels. Bits and subs do.
An Anunnaki faction that is destabilizing humanity by way of AI and technology.
Are beings. Okay, people have asked me about
Yeah, I do remember the name
iPhone.
Return of the Archons. Which episode is that? Is that the one where it's a Rome planet?
Yourself and to inspire yourself, is it has to come from within. That's the whole point. That's the initiation of Christ. Okay.
Oh, it's the Purge planet? Okay. I guess I don't remember that one very well.
Paulette. Demonic parasites. Their machine-like inorganic world uses their tech blueprints to make our organic world machine-like for easy interference through synthetics. How do they benefit from this possession? Isn't this the New World Order?
Everything I don't like is the New World Order.
Yes.
The world changes a lot. Please calm down.
So the key to understanding the parasitical nature and the demonic nature is to understand the underworld. So the hell realms or the underworld are characterized by being machine-like or without a soul. It's automatic. And then when you get into the human kingdom or the natural world, then you have the development of the eye, the development of the soul, but it's not quite angelic yet. And then you have the supernatural celestial world, which is the angelic kingdoms. So I'm going to say that one more time. We have the subnatural world or the underworld, or what's considered the hell and purgatorial realms that are portrayed as being in the earth. This is the nature of those realms is robotic. So it's like automated. There's no soul. There's no eye.
Like the what's the D&D realm that has the fucking little robot guys? Shit. It's the realm of one of a deity, I think. Mechanus? Is it Mechanus?
It's just a machine, right? That's what the underworld is like. Then when you get into the natural world, so that's subnatural, the subnatural world. Then when you get into the natural world, you get into developing the eye and developing the individuality and developing the soul. So it's not quite there, but you're developing that. And that's our natural world, the earth. And it has the influence from the hell realms or from the underworld all the time, trying to mechanize it, trying to automate it, trying to remove the eye and pull it into that system of death and destruction, okay, which is a machine world. And this is why I like to pick it out when people start to call the cosmos a simulation. It's not a simulation. Okay, this is trying to observe the entire world in an inhuman way, which is of the underworld. That is a perspective that's of the subnatural world, because we are in a world of beings. We're not in a machine world, okay? It's not a simulation. That's only looking at the lower astral plane and the earth and the underworld. That's not including the celestial kingdom, because if you did, you'd see that we're inside of a great being.
We're inside a being? We're like bacterium. Fun. Minute left on the hype train.
Okay, we are the microcosm of a macrocosm that could be understood as the great being, which is the Christ. We are within that. Okay, so in order for us to actually integrate and understand our own body, we have to use that system. Okay, so ultimately you have, again, the lower world, which is like a machine.
Hydrate.
Right? There's no eye, there's no consciousness. You have the natural world, which is the development of the eye. It's the natural world. And then the supernatural celestial world, which is the angelic supernatural world, full of essentially superhuman entities, which we call angels. And that's the structure of the cosmos and esoteric science. So whenever you get like a demonic entity, Paulette, and I like how you use the word demonic and the word parasite, because that's how demonic entities operate. There's no ability for a demonic being to
Thanks for the hype train, everyone.
actually get energy unless it's through the natural world. They don't have an
I don't understand how these people claim to have so much intimate knowledge about the functioning of fictional beings.
eye. They don't have much of it, and therefore
Altered Undying says, oh no, we're inside of Christ and eat the body of Christ. We are the parasites.
they have to parasitically attach to people in the natural world and the earthly plane and basically suck energy from them. And so that's why you hear about you know, things like demonic attachments, you hear about possession, you hear about people that are empty shells and background people, which are just...
Oh, the NPC shit is disgusting. Absolutely hate it. Lenin Cat says, in Gnosticism, archons are builders of physical reality and prevent souls from leaving the material plane, so it does predate these modern conspiracy ideas. They syncretized the idea from the ruling gods from the works of Plato. I really need to read more classical stuff, because it seems like a lot... I mean, in fairness, a lot of modern society is cribbed from... from classical stuff, but you know. Conspiracy theorists tend to borrow a lot from mythology.
Individuals that have been taken over by...
Getting a call from private number. That seems sus.
Beings from the underworld, from the subnatural world that are demonic and they fall into the machine system. So when someone becomes possessed by a demonic entity, they start to fall into the influence of that machine.
Green Guy says, how many summer costumes? New summer puppet? Probably like 4 costumes, if I had to guess. And, fuck it. If you want me to get a summer puppet, sure. If I get the next sub goal. And by the way, the tip goal that we have now, it will roll over. So right now we're at 1,220. So the next sub goal, if I started it right now, will start at 220 out of 1,000. So this is counting. Also, Live, Love, Lick Feet. Thanks for following. That's a hilarious name.
Machine-like existence of the underworld. Now, different mystics were describing the underworld as a machine and as automated since before we even had technology. This is how Rudolf Steiner was describing it.
I'm sorry. We're fucking citing Steiner? Oh no.
Gurdjieff was describing it this way. Casey had described things in this way. Various different teachers were...
Did I kill the previous puppet? The previous puppet actually killed me and is puppeting me.
Describing that demonic entities in the underworld or the subnatural plane...
That account was created 20 hours ago. Yeah, it might be a troll. That's fine. If it is, I'm sure someone will get it.
They behave like robots, right? They behave like basically predatory animal robot things. It's the worst of everything. And so when you have a bunch of people on the planet who don't have an individuality, don't have an I, and that I especially is not glorified by aligning it with Christ, then you start getting people who operate in this weird demonic hive mind. And this is why you can't look at someone and say, oh, this person is, you know, just like me, because on the inside, they could be connecting with very different forces than you, right? So this is like this is like that movie They Live, exactly, where he's taking off the glasses and looking around and seeing these zombies everywhere. This is true. This is really how it is.
Fan and live stream Discord. This is actually very cute. And it's a little stuffy. Stuffed animal watching me. It's a Care Bear, I think. It's the second picture. Looks like a Care Bear.
So that is the description of, that's a very good symbolic example of possession. And so how do these...
You're just sus of new accounts. Me too. It happens.
Demonic...
I would like to assume the best until otherwise proven.
Entities
benefit... Oh, they live on the bingo card.
...from possession? Will they get to basically...
Yes, they live is about capitalism.
They set up systems on Earth that are vampiric. And they get to drain the Earth of all of its light, all of its life force energy. They get to feed on the soul essences of people. That's, and basically how that will eventually come to pass is they'll create a kind of like false ether, which is a mix of like electricity and sort of human energy, and they'll try to basically enter into it. And this is also called the eighth sphere, essentially. So it's really important, you know, as we move forward in, you know, 2025, 2026, going into 2030, You know, it's really, really important that we pay attention to technocracy and, you know, these different individuals that want to, you know, tell people that our only option is basically to develop this machine world. And our only option is basically to choose the lesser of evil AIs. That this technocracy, that this new technological world, this internet digital world is the only future we have. So you better just, you know.
I'm Reddit. I'm Reddit. I'm cautious about giving accidentally based to someone who cited Steiner. Reticent? Is that the word? Reticent?
Not fight it. This is a sickness, and we have to really watch that, and you have to be very aware of that because it's not true, and that is directly how the subnatural world operates in human beings. It's how the demonic world operates. So we have to be aware of that. You don't want to be sold a false paradigm and a false world that, you know, depletes you. That's how serious it is, you know. Okay. Hi, Gigi. I remember once you mentioned you had done...
The video just cuts off in a second. So much word salad bullshit today. So much crap. Oh, boy. Oops, let me roll this back to the beginning.
2020 Lily. In 2020, Lily Nova took up a new hobby of astrophotography and soon found evidence of UFOs in the many photos and videos she was taken. She noticed that some of the UFOs responded to her mental suggestions. Lily has been communicating
So vibes of Clued, become a square, Clued.
With a number of extraterrestrials traveling in UFOs using this time-lapse photography. She recently traveled to Egypt and had some very interesting experiences and downloads about what Egypt's history was really like. And she also has some updates about what we can expect in the near future in the United States and our planet.
You're listening to Exopolitics Today with Dr. Michael Salla, your source for the uncensored truth regarding the human, extraterrestrial, global, and political agenda. Click the like button and subscribe to this channel. And now, here's Dr. Michael Salla.
Is this the best use of your doctorate, Michael? Really?
Well, welcome, Lily, to the show.
Hi, thanks so much for having me. It's so great to be back on here with you.
Yes, well, I'm very glad to hear that you traveled to Egypt recently and had some really fascinating experiences there. That definitely is a wonderful place to go and connect with.
Yeah, and the timing of it was very, very interesting because the day that I got...
Oh yeah, the AC's made things so much more bearable. Stuff has been so nightmarish the last couple days. And Just a Peach says, I got my last 3 crowns 11 days early. That must feel good. That probably sucked.
Over there was when those scans were released in that press conference or that conference.
Oh, you're talking about these bullshit scans of under the pyramids from years ago that a crackpot fucking interpreted incorrectly, and now a bunch of conspiracy theorists thinks there's like a secret energy power plant under the pyramids.
That information was released about those structures being underneath the Great Pyramid. So that happened. It was divine timing. So I got to really tune in on site at all of these places and kind of get a feel for what was going on there.
Well, that's true. Yes, that was made worldwide news. The discovery of some ancient structures, massive ancient structures under the Giza Plateau, and suggesting that there is so much more underground than what you see on the surface when it comes to Egypt. So I do look forward to talking to you about that. But first, I wanted to get you to respond to something that essentially someone put out a critique trying to expose the grey hybrid alien agenda, and put you in there as someone that supported the grey hybrid agenda. And I wrote an article.
What a funny hit piece. You support the grey hybrid agenda.
In response, where you had emailed me some of your responses, but I wanted to give you the opportunity to respond to some of these claims made against you, because some of them are just outright false. And I just wanted to hear from you, or my audience would benefit from hearing from you about these accusations. So the first accusation.
I swear to God, I'm not joking. I'm supposed to have a doctor's appointment tomorrow. And I think it... Hi, Hannah. Unfortunately, there are issues with the air conditioning in the building, and due to the high heat, we're unable to see patients in the office this week. Please call the office at phone number to reschedule this appointment. What are the chances of that? What are the chances of that? That's fucking unfortunate. God damn it. Whatever.
Made against you is that you have said that you are a grey alien hybrid.
Yeah. So I don't even know where that came from, because I've never...
I had to schedule out 2 months in advance for this one, too. If I gotta wait another 2 months, that's not good. Because I need my fucking prescriptions.
Said that once in my life. So that was...
Guess we gotta go to urgent care.
A real
urgent care. My doctor canceled my appointment. I need my meds.
Big shock to me as well. I think maybe something got miscommunicated or something, or somebody's definitely mistaken with that, because I've never said that, and I've never claimed to be that either.
Okay. Now, as far as hybrids are concerned, what about being an Andromedan or Pleiadian hybrid?
Yeah. So, well, for me personally, I do feel, and I feel it's common in a lot of contactees families, that it kind of runs through their bloodline or their family line, where they're like, my mother has had UFO experiences. Unfortunately.
Hey, fun fact, completely unrelated, mental illness also runs in families. Brought that up for no reason.
My father passed before I was able to really ask him about these sorts of things. I know he's had at least one experience, but you know, I feel that there are galactics who are already running these kind of genetic programs and helping amplify starseed DNA, like Pleiadians and other types of beings. I think that's already just a commonplace thing. But I've never claimed that, or never have spoken out about myself being a hybrid. I do feel that that is definitely occurring, though, with a variety of different races. But the specific video that was put in this article was taken from a clip where it said that it was me speaking about being in the gray hybrid program, which was false. The clip was actually taken from a video that I did where I shared some very deeply personal experiences that I had for a brief window of being part of a hybrid program. And it was specifically, I know one Pleiadian. I got to see this child, this baby, and it was in the male and the female Pleiadian, and this was just kind of a short line of communication. This isn't an overall theme. These experiences happened a few years ago, and around that same time period, I had a few experiences where I was contacted by the Andromedan constellation. One of my main contacts, Talia, who I spoke about in our last interview and share extensively about in my book. From my understanding, I was part of a hybrid program for three different children, if I remember correctly from this specific one. And they told me it was a mix of Andromedan and human DNA, my human DNA. And it was actually my father reincarnated.
You had an alien child that's a reincarnation of your father? Do I need to pull up Enter the Void again for relevance? What the fuck? Oh my god. It's like I'm my own grandpa.
As my hybrid child, which might sound pretty, that might sound a little bit out there, but it was a very deeply personal experience for me. And yeah, just a very interesting experience. But what they explained to me was that his name was Jacob's Ladder, is what they said. And I don't know, I'm not.
I don't know, man. Jacob as a name is fine. Ladder! And yes, I know the fucking biblical reference. I'm aware. Ladder's not a good name.
Not like a biblical person. And I looked that up, and Jacob's Ladder is basically leading heaven up to earth.
It's also a pretty good movie.
So they shared with me that this being would play a role in helping introduce humanity to the galactics, to help us introduce into the community, is essentially what they said, to help bridge humanity and the stars. And this isn't...
Veltwin says, how is one a Pleiadian? The Pleiades are a set of stars, right? Not a galaxy like Andromeda. I assume they're trying to say that, like, they are from a planet that is in the Pleiades system. So, like, there's a planet there or something that is circling around the stars there or something, would be my guess. I don't know.
A part of my main mission. I don't talk about this often. This is just a few instances that I had a few years ago, and I don't think I'm active in that program anymore. I think it was something that just happened over the course of a few months, and it's never been brought up again. So I don't promote the hybrid program. I have weird feelings about it myself, actually. You know, it's kind of a weird...
Oh, I forgot this was all about a gotcha question about, do you support the hybrid agenda?
Touchy subject. But the intention of these beings, and from my Andromedan star family, was to help bridge. I think for humanity, as we are ready and our consciousness raises up to a certain level, we'll want to interact with more human-looking species. I think that was part of the role there. But the article said that I was promoting the gray hybrid program, which I was not at all. And again, just to say that again, I do not promote the hybrid program. I kind of have weird feelings about that. That's not my main mission. I rarely talk about it. I just talked about it for that brief, short period in case others have had experiences like that, because a lot of people have had experiences with that. So that was just sharing something deeply personal that happened for a short period of time a few years ago.
Okay. And so, but there is some connection you have with an Andromedan and Pleiadian hybrid program.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you kind of like explained a little bit about that. And gray hybrid children, have you had any gray hybrid children?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Good answer.
All right. That's important.
You don't want to get gotcha, like, oh, we have your gray hybrid child here. Come on out, Jerry.
Important. I think that was one of the accusations made. So also it was claimed that you were saying, and certainly there was a video showing you talking about the possibility of greys being us from the future. And I think you explained that, you know, early on you really weren't familiar with the greys and all of that, but now you're a bit...
That's where an ad would go.
Clearer. So yeah, what do you think of that idea that the grey extraterrestrials are us from the future?
Yeah. So I think it can be very convoluted, and we're dealing with timeline wars and different timelines and all of these different species coming from the future and different timelines. So, I mean, I think that could, and there's also tons of different species of grays as well. It's not kind of like lumped into one category, and even other species that look similar to gray, but they're not gray. So I was asked that question again a few years ago.
Ma'am, where do you stand on the great Eloy v. Morlock war?
I was not very familiar with
We need to stop funding the Eloy.
Greys. I don't have contact with the Greys. My contacts are Andromedan and Pleiadian and Arcturian mostly. and the Alliance and the Inner Earth beings. Those are kind of my main people that I talk to. So I was asked that just briefly in an interview because it's kind of a hot topic. A lot of people want the grays are what's shoved in front of everybody's faces all of the time. You know, if you don't know anything about UFO disclosure or extraterrestrials, you know the grays exist because that has been kind of that narrative has been kind
They're
of
the
pushed
pop cultural generic
uh,
alien.
out in the open.
They're a simple design. I think that's why they're popular. They're simple. They were popularized by, like, a lot of science fiction films and in popular culture, and that's it. It just became the trope.
So a lot of people ask about that naturally. And yeah, I said...
Medicated person, thanks for 36 months, says 35 months. Woo, 36 actually, which is the sub-baby. This sub-baby's name is going to be Futurity Jones.
They asked me if they were us from the future, and I said that could be a potential. And that's simply what I said. I didn't go on and on about it. It wasn't it's not my mission. I'm not promoting it. I just said that definitely I could see that being a potential.
Yeah, that's just a claim, and so you're not particularly attached to that, and don't talk about that in any great length. One of the videos, kind of like...
All right, probably a fair place to stop because that's over an hour long, and we don't have the time to look at that. So thanks everyone for another tinfoil day. That's 3 hours of crazy out of the way. We had a bingo winner. All is right with the world, as long as you ignore a lot of the world. So thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. I will be back tomorrow. Not sure exactly what we'll be doing. But we will be back tomorrow. Maybe doing something sovereign citizen related. It's hard to say. I've been very obsessed with some of these sovereign citizens lately. I know I've been doing it a lot, but like, just something's going on with them. I don't know. Anyway, thanks everyone for hanging out. Really appreciate it. Let's see who we're gonna raid on Twitch. Bum ba-dum bum 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 ba-dum bum ba-dum bum bum bum.
Like I was going to bed.
All right. Oh, that's true, Harold Element. I have been wanting to do a stream where we look at some of that stuff, so maybe I'll do that. All right. Have a great night, everyone. I'm gonna go eat some food because I'm hungry. Have a great night, everyone. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.